FM.
Online at BBC Sports Scotland.
Your smart speaker.
And BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. John Rankin and Leanne Crichton alongside me in the studio. We've got all the games coming in here. Of course, you hear the goals as soon as they go in from the guys out and about at the grounds. Leanne, I've been thinking over the past few weeks, we've had some fantastic action, so many goals, so much drama. Just the 4 games kicking off at 3 o'clock, but I think they're going to deliver.
Yeah, well, listen, they've got a lot to live up to. We need a lot for the 4 games that are out there, a lot from the reporters at each game to keep us in the loop and keep us as involved as we possibly can be. Look, it's festive football. I absolutely love it. I love the games. I love the fixtures. I don't know if John would agree with me as a manager and a player, because for the guys' game it seems to be a lot more hectic than the women's game is. At least I've managed to switch off for a couple of weeks and certainly get the feet up and enjoy the football over the coming days. But look, it's brilliant stuff. I mean, it's heavy in terms of the preparation and getting everything in place for these types of games at the type of year and the time of year it is, but we should have some crackers today. A lot on the line, we've said it for the last number of weeks. Teams that are needing results, teams that need to keep motoring. And even the one at Celtic Park, look, this on paper is an expectation that you would expect Celtic to win the game. Motherwell have gone to Celtic Park, their last 2 away games, have drawn both of them. They've had some big results this season. Motherwell, they're sitting in a comfortable position in the top half of the table, a place that they deserve to be based on the season's form that they've shown. So Stuart Kettlewell, I would imagine, is going to embrace that game this afternoon. He'll have a game plan as he always does, and you know the big question is, can they keep Celtic quiet for long periods in the game? But we certainly should have a few crackers.
Yeah, a very animated Callum McGregor there in the Celtic huddle, just laying down the law to these players. What's required against Motherwell this afternoon at Celtic Park. Yes, John Rankin, Hamilton Accies manager. A wee break from the stress of the touchline for you today, but it's going to be dramatic in here. And Leanne's right, this time of year the games just feel a little bit more special, don't they?
It's not a break, Kenny, it's Thursday.
You were training this morning, weren't you?
Yeah, of course we were training this morning, but taking away the Boxing Day mayhem, listen, I'm really looking forward to watching the game this afternoon. I think there's a lot of excitement. As a player, you always look forward to the Boxing Day fixtures round about Christmas. You're excited by it. There's a lot of supporters in the grounds, no matter where you are, because they're obviously often on holiday. But when you look at the busy period, I think that's important to have that, especially in British football, to go Thursday, Sunday and then again next week. There's a lot of excitement in that, and if, as a team, if you're coming off the back of a good result, you're looking to go and build on that again. And if you're coming off the back of a bad result, you've got 2 or 3 days and you need to go again. So I would always love this time of the year, love playing at this time of the year.
Must have a huge impact in family life. Very challenging.
Massive, Kenny. It's hard. It really is difficult when you look at playing in the Boxing Day and you're up in the morning, Christmas Day. Now, only a few managers in my time gave me Christmas Day off. A lot of the rest would train. And I didn't mind training. I'm up for training Christmas Day, and then it's a case of you're focused and ready to go the next day. But the challenges that you see when you've got young children, babies at times, and your wife, partner, whoever that may be, having to go and deal with those kids and children, and you're going out the door at an early time, and then you're coming back in and all the families there, they're waiting on you, the dinner's delayed because of you. It seems like a kind of selfish thing, but all you're doing is you've worked all your life to be a professional footballer, you've dreamt of it, and those are the small sacrifices that you have to make. Then there's other part of it where it's roast turkey for dinner and 4-course meals, and you're maybe sitting with a bowl of pasta.
No fun at all, is it?
But not only that, I mean, I speak about the sacrifices your family makes. They don't make the sacrifices to make that pasta for you. You've got to do that yourself.
We'll get the guys' thoughts of festive football in a couple of minutes' time. Let's get around the grounds, an early bounce there. So underway at Celtic Park, Stephen Craig, and a huge challenge from Motherwell this afternoon.
It is, Kenny, and it's always vitally important the first 10 or 15 minutes. You've got to get up to speed. You can't afford to go behind and allow the game to get away from you, as we witnessed recently when Ross County came here. I have to say, Marvin Calera has started so well in the right wing-back area. He's up against probably one of Celtic's in-form players in Dyson Maida. He's got a really low centre of gravity. He's electric pace. Dyson Maida, but a couple of occasions already, Marvin Clara has matched him, used his physical presence and ushered the ball off him. So that's going to have to continue throughout the game. But I think Leanne touched on it. Motherwell have scored on both their previous visits here. Celtic didn't score against Dundee United at Tannadice. I had a little look back to see when the last time was that they went back-to-back domestically and didn't score. It was back in 2019. So you'd imagine Celtic are going to score this afternoon at some stage. Motherwell are going to have to carry a threat where they can get themselves a goal. So a really enticing fixture, but we're early stages and it's 0-0.
Stephen, so much quality as we know in that Celtic squad, but it looks to me when you take Cameron Carter-Vickers out or you take Callum McGregor out, they look a slightly different team. From a Motherwell perspective, would that be Lennon Miller and perhaps one other? Who are the key players right now for Stuart Kettlewell?
Well, to be fair, I think Motherwell are missing probably their best player, and that's Paul McGinn.
Right.
I just think he gives him a different dimension playing in that back three. That we've said it before, that he loves stepping into midfield. Because he's used to playing as a fullback, he probably spends quite a lot of time in the ball. But because he's playing as a right centre half, he can step into midfield. He gives you an extra man, his composure. The three centre halves they have today don't really give that. Kofi Bammer's in for Liam Gordon. I think his distribution is better in open play. Hence the reason why he's in instead of Liam Gordon, because you have to be good with the ball. But Lennon Miller has actually dropped off a little bit in the last 4 or 5 weeks, Kenny, I've got to say. Whether he's a young man, played a lot of football, but clearly when he's in the team and he's playing well, he's an influential player.
Yeah, a big afternoon for Motherwell at Celtic Park. Celtic looking to get back on winning ways after that draw at Tannadice last weekend. Let's head for Dundee now. We'll actually head to Dens Park. Dundee at home to Ross County. Willie Miller is there for us. What's happening in the early stages, Willie?
It's relatively quiet, Kenny, here. You know, the players just... It's very wet, but the pitch has dealt with it extremely well. For 2 hours it just really came down very heavily, but it's in pristine condition. Both sides are setting up with similar type of formations with the three at the back, which can easily go into five, which maybe means that we're not going to see an awful lot of goals, but I'm ever hopeful, as you know, and the football is pretty good on the eye, but no chances as yet. Still 0-0 here.
Was Christmas Day off a rarity for you when you were playing, Willie?
Well, just thinking, what I used to do was just lock the living room door where all the kids' presents were, and I would go out and train and they wouldn't get their presents, or Santa wouldn't come till later on in the day. Do you think that's a bit of a Grinch?
What kind of house has got a lock in the living room door?
An Aberdonian one. It's got a lock on the fridge as well.
I'm only joking.
Well, listen, I think you should probably stay quite quiet this afternoon, Mr. Preston. I'm telling you, you know what's coming.
Oh, listen, derbies come and go, you know what I mean? That's fine. Hibs are a better team, deserve to win. Hearts are poor. We all know that. Tell me something I don't know.
Are you concerned?
Of course. I said that a few weeks ago. The performance at Kilmarnock, Petrocub, they beat St Johnstone, but that performance today, Hibs deserve to win. Hearts' best player was almost 42 years of age, and that's alarming. You know, I think that the signings have been poor. You've heard myself and Michael talk about it on numerous occasions. Too many in one area of the pitch, not enough in the other. Not enough dynamism in the side either. And that's going to be a struggle, so they need to get to the January window. What's going to be available for them with the finances and everything else, we don't know, but Neil Critchley certainly needs help.
Kenny, I think me and Alan are in the same mood, and that's the first time I've got to say that for a number of seasons. We're both totally depressed.
Yeah, I mean, after all the good, was it 6 without a win now for the Dons after a fantastic start, Will, and we all loved the story. It was terrific. But do you think it's maybe just down to a wee bit of a lack of confidence or lack of squad depth? What do you put it down to, Willie? I
think, I see Malloy's out today. I mean, he's a very young and very talented left-sided defender, but he's been left out. And you know, he's got Rubicic beside him as well. You know, not a great communicator, very rash. You probably witnessed that against Hibs with the first goal. So I think that area has got to be looked at. Angus MacDonald's in, and I do think their midfield has just, lost the energy. Nielsen and Shinnie in particular have lost that energy and that control of that area that they've had. And of course, they don't have a main striker either. He's searching for someone to be a consistent goal scorer. Mind you, not creating too many chances either, and Kevin Nisbet is nowhere to be seen, on the starting lineup. So yeah, it is a bit concerning. I'm sure that still early in Jimmy Tieland's reign as well, and he'll be looking to the transfer window to freshen things up.
I tell you what, Wally, you'd be a little bit concerned with the start they've made at the moment. I still can't get used to this strip, this black and yellow strip. Just doesn't look like Aberdeen to me. But Kilmarnock started ever so well, putting them under pressure. McDonald, who's come in for Malloy there, he had to. It was a ball from Polworth. If he hadn't have got it, Vizell was going to be straight through 1v1 with the keeper. But no, they're struggling at the moment. They don't look like the Aberdeen, obviously, that juggernaut of early on in the season. But I tell you what. I don't know, at the moment it just looks very unlike Aberdeen. You're talking about that the energy, that's one thing you've got to have up against this Kelly side. You've got to match them up with this physicality as well. They're struggling a little bit at the moment.
Kenny, I was just going to say how good Willie Miller must have had it for the first 10 games of the season. 8 points clear in third, and he's put himself in the same mood state as Alan Preston. Dearie me, how good it must have been. Come on, Willie. Come on. They'll turn it around.
Expectations.
Just get a cushion up there, just sitting comfortable. Ready to pounce. Only 1 point behind Rangers in second.
But I tell you what, they've got what a marvellous following they've got. They always travel, as we know in their numbers. It's a brilliant atmosphere in Rugby Park at the moment at the start of the game. But that's all credit as well to the Aberdeen support. Massive support away to my left-hand side.
Yeah, I said that last weekend actually. You think of the weather conditions, huge hip support up at Pittodrie and rewarded. St Mirren fans the same, making that journey to Dingwall last weekend. Aberdeen almost travelling good numbers there through at Rugby Park this afternoon. Let's go back to Alan Preston. It feels like a big game there this afternoon, McDermott, Alan.
It is. Dundee United, just like Aberdeen, got a big following. That away end is packed behind the goals, and they've got some in the main stand as well. United have started well, passing the ball well. St Johnstone a little bit nervous. Still trying to find, for me, Simo Valakari, his best formation and his best 11. And it's going to be very difficult for him. The rain is pouring down here at McDermott Park today, Kenny. But I'm expecting goals. 7 minutes on the clock, though, 0-0.
Was Jim McLean generous when it came to time off at Christmas?
You wind me up. We weren't allowed a Christmas night out.
Is that right?
Honestly, he would arrange games for us, because we were young boys at the time, and they would arrange games at Arbroath or Forfar or Montrose when the first team had arranged a Christmas night out. We weren't allowed one. Mind you, we were out one time and one or two of the boys were got into a bit of trouble, and in the morning Jim came in and said, who's Clint Eastwood, who's Michael Jackson? We don't give false names.
Yeah, I can imagine what that was like. Some early goals. Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0. Anthony Gordon after 2 minutes. Ben Doak has scored for Middlesbrough. He's doing really well there. He has put them 1-0 at home to Sheffield Wednesday in the lunchtime.
It's a heavy challenge here.
Yes,
Let me have a look at this, please. Middleton sliding in on Sanders in the corner. Doesn't look good.
No. I mean, there's not a lot of force. I don't think it. Maybe if anything, just looks at the height that he's caught, and we'll get a wee replay of it just coming out. Alan, it comes down on his foot. I don't think it's any more. It wouldn't be any more than a yellow, I don't think.
That's fine. He's up, thankfully.
Yeah, and there's a clash at Celtic Park where Tawanda Maswanisi went into the box. The referee's booked him for diving, but I think there's contact, whether it's inside the box or outside the box. But I think he looked quite shocked that he'd been given a yellow card. But I think he's trying to buy the foul from the player. He steps in front of him.
I mean, he goes down probably slightly theatrical, but you're right, there is contact. There's contact in his right heel, perhaps just outside the box.
Things restarted. It just looked to me that there was contact in the back of his leg, but I didn't really get the chance to see how theatrically he went down. But there you go.
Aye, no, he definitely catches him. Kenny, I just had a question for the guys. Not something that I've ever experienced, but on the Christmas night out front, has there ever been a time that you said a brilliant Christmas night out planned and then it was kiboshed with the result and
Dundee United
pulled the plug on it?
Honestly, you've got no idea. You've no idea. We never got anything at Dundee United. We used to have to hand our passports in, and when I went on holiday as a 16-year-old with my mum and dad, I used to go and ask Jim McLean for my passport to go on holiday with my parents.
Is that true?
Them, honestly.
Really? That is brilliant. What about you, Ranks? Anything?
The only one I can remember, it wasn't because of the result. We get ours cancelled at Kilmarnock. So Dundee United were playing Kilmarnock at Rugby Park, and it was a storm. And both us and Kilmarnock were booked in the same flight to go to Dublin. We weren't obviously we couldn't go, but we'd obviously got a wee bit excited and they've changed their pounds into euros. So we obviously lost a great deal of money in the exchange rate the next day. So we're both discouraging to try and change the money back, but ourselves and Kilmarnock just scattered to different areas.
Derek Ferguson, you must have some great Christmas nights out, did you not?
Absolutely. No, come on, Kenny. I tell you what.
Every weekend.
Weeks out for Fergie.
You're right,
days,
Wally.
weeks.
I tell you what, Big Tatty, Big Neil Cooper, when I was at Ross County, we lost on the Saturday, and because we were obviously travelling from down this end of the woods, we had us on Sunday morning, absolutely battered us as well. So we were promised 2 or 3 days off, but Big Tatty wasn't having it. So
you can just imagine these games getting played out, and it's not the 3 points you're chasing, it's just the Christmas party.
It was always a threat though, wasn't it? And the players were always aware, look, you know, it's coming up to Christmas, we've got to make sure that we're going to win this game. We can't have an embarrassing result, otherwise it will be cancelled. I think it was always a threat that was laid down by the managers.
Guys, have we think of this? We'll do this after 4 o'clock when we're on the TV. I should say this on the TV. Take it away, Derek.
Yes, Kilmarnock, they're absolutely they're bang at it at the moment. There's a strike at go. I'm not sure if it might have been Wales there. They're putting Aberdeen under a lot of pressure, and they're hanging on at the moment in these early stages. 13 minutes gone, Kenny, at the moment. I think that's Wales. I'm not too sure. It's hard to see with the numbers with the Killie strips, but it's been all one-way traffic. As an attacking force, Aberdeen have been non-existent. So you can see there is. I think Jimmy Teelan said before the game there ain't a lack of confidence. Well, for me, it's quite clear to see with this side at the moment there is a lack of confidence. And Kilmarnock, they really should have got their noses in front so far. For 2 or 3 opportunities, not took one yet. Still 0-0.
Guys, how do we think? We'll do this at 4 o'clock. So we usually do this at the end of the season, but some of the clubs will have reached the halfway point today with games played. So as things stand, who would be your player of the season so far, and who would be your honourable mention? Someone that's not going to win it, but has had a good campaign. So I think back when we've done this previously at the end of the season, Mark O'Hara was one of the honourable mentions before. I think Alex Gogic was another. So have we think about it? We'll do it later in the programme. I also want your thoughts on who you think is likely right now to finish bottom. So thanks to SPFL Media Watch on Twitter. St Johnstone will be bottom in the Premiership at Christmas after their defeat at Tynecastle last weekend.
Sorry, Leanne, is there a penalty check at Celtic Park? There clearly is.
Yeah, it looks like there is.
I mean, it's the ball came into the box.
We
weren't too sure.
Handball check.
Hands high, isn't it?
That's what it seems to be. I think Kofi Bama, I can just see him gesticulating towards the referee that he's falling back and his hand is at his side. So I don't think the ball was going to anyone. It wasn't influencing play at all. I think it was Bernard who put it out of play.
Aye, and it's a strange one. If I don't know who the player is. If it was, they kind of zoomed in and Lennon.
Here we go now, Leanne.
I think it was Kofi Balmer.
Yeah.
I think it was Balmer.
I don't
They
know.
actually touch it. It's hard to see if he actually touched. His hand was way up.
Anita comes in just at the kind of last second, a little bit of body contact. I mean, it's a strange one. If anything, it's flicked off his.
It's just that's been probably over a minute now. We've been waiting on.
It looks as if it may have brushed it, but I don't think his hands went towards the ball.
Well, he is, but I think that's irrelevant, John. I think if it's above his head or it's a so-called unnatural position, he has now waved it away.
I don't think you could definitively say, Craigs, whether it actually come off his hand or not. Just the ball doesn't really change. It doesn't change direction in the way out.
Okay.
Nah.
Yeah, we actually saw when actually was an early penalty shout, and actually Hibs scored just after it. You know, Kyle Rouse hit the ball with his hand. It was really hard to tell if he actually touched it or not. It was very, very close.
And that's probably quite similar, Kenny. Yeah.
Why are he up there?
I know.
His hands up there. It's as if he's been shoved or something's at his back.
So, of the past 6 sides that have finished that have been bottom at Christmas, 4 have ended up being relegated. Livingston relegated, Dundee United relegated, St Johnstone survived, County survived, Hearts relegated, Dundee relegated, going back to 2018-2019.
Demoted.
Right, okay, right, demoted, right. If we look at the table right now, St Johnstone bottom 15 points, County 16, Hearts 16 points. Alan, can you see, first of all, ahead of the Edinburgh Derby, Craig Levein and John Collins were saying no way that Hearts or Hibs will be in the mix at the bottom of the table come the end of the season. Would you go along with that? Do you see it being County St John's? What are your thoughts?
No, listen, I think I don't want to be St Johnstone or Hearts, to be honest, but if you're asking me, Ken, I think Hearts are in a battle. It depends on who they get in. They've got long-term injuries to Kingsley and, more importantly, Frankie Kent, who looks like he could be out for a number of months. A massive loss. Halkett is sometimes got back problems. They've still not got a settled right back. If something happens to Penrice, they've got no left sider to play left back. So Hearts are right in that mix to be involved in the relegation battle. They need to get players in. You've also got the fact that Lawrence Shanklin's on his way out. You've got guys that probably like Barry Mackay and Leon Boyce, their time's probably come and gone there, and what effect they have in the final 6 months of the football club. So Hearts are very much in the mix. St Johnstone will be in the mix, as they have been in the last number of years, as have Ross County, who've been in the playoffs a couple of times. So I would think it would be between the three.
Stephen Craigan?
Yeah, I can't help but look beyond St Johnstone or Ross County, but that's sitting from here and now. Things can change very quickly, we know that. Someone who's sitting there thinks they're sitting comfortably mid-table or in the top half of the table. If you have a bad
chance, there's a goal!
Yes, Derek.
That's a goal for Kilmarnock Vassell. It was coming, you could sense it. Again, a ball from the wide area. It's an in-swinging one. Aberdeen, they don't deal with it. And there's Vassell on the stretch, pokes into the back of the net. Kelly 1-0 up.
That's dreadful defending, isn't it?
Dreadful defending, good delivery, and a penalty box striker's goal all day long. Just gets in between the defenders. He's got faith in the delivery. Vassell, he certainly makes a good run, good movement. He just gets a final touch on it. Who was it, Derek, with the delivery? An in-swinger with the right foot.
Murray.
Yeah,
and he's put in 2 or 3, Leanne, already. You know.
Ranks, are you saying anything about the goalkeeper? I feel when it drops inside the 6 here.
It's as if the goalkeeper gambles in the first ball, as if he's going to protect the back post, as if he's expecting everyone to miss it. And Vassell gets a touch, and then it's obviously a tap-in. He takes 2 touches in the 6-yard box unchallenged.
Aye,
right in the centre of the goal.
Defensively really poor, Derek, you're spot on. Aye, Vassell, he's 2 touches and it's in.
And Mitov just back on the side today.
Mitov, I know.
You'd have to say.
It was rooted to his line for me. I think he's got to do more. I think he can come in and be brave, and as the ball lands in the 6, he's got to deal with it and take the pressure off his defenders. Just the height of the delivery, it kind of drops down between them both.
Yeah, he's unsettled, Leanne, because Kilmarnock have constantly, right from the off, they're putting balls into the box, they're putting them under pressure, and he does look a little bit unsure. Even corner kicks, the balls are getting right on top of him. So, but it's not just about one player. That just, you can see throughout that Aberdeen side at the moment, a real lack of confidence.
Right, Kenny, that's my honourable mention. I've binned it, okay, because it was Mitov. So I've just binned it on the back of just listening to that commentary.
Yeah, the honourable mention. Yeah, we'll get that later in the programme. Willie's going to have a rethink on that one. We want the player of the season so far and the honourable mention. Kyle Vassell with that goal. Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0. The goal coming after 18 minutes. Was that a wee chance for you, Alan, in your game?
Yeah, it was. It was Kimpioka. It was a header. It was a free kick played. Sanders knocked it back across, and there's Kimpioka at the back post for St Johnstone, just heading it over the top of the crossbar. That's the first chance of the game, Kenny. 17 minutes on the clock. St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 0.
In the first save for Aston Oxborough, Callum McGregor was involved, had a shot with his right foot, took a deflection into the path of Dyson Murray. There was a collision or another kind of deflection off someone, and Oxborough saved it down to his right hand side. It was cleared by Dan Casey. I have to say, Motherwell are working ever so hard out of possession, Kenny. They're working to stop crosses, they're working to stop Celtic playing through them, they're defending well 1v1. Celtic probably know at some stage somebody may switch off, they may drop a runner, they may lose concentration, and they may then try and open up. But that's the first real attempt Celtic have had on target after 20-21 minutes. So Motherwell doing okay just now, but there's still a long way to go.
That's the thing, Leanne, is to keep these levels up, isn't it? They're bound to tire.
Aye, absolutely, and that is the big question. Can you keep doing that? Then comes down to your substitutions later in the game, into the second half. You try and keep that same freshness, that same level of focus and concentration. But this type of game plan for me is the one that Stuart Kettlewell seems to get right more often than not.
Thought he'd nicked it into the back of the net. I tell you what, it's a good reaction from Aberdeen, putting Kelly under a little bit of pressure there. No, the ball was just back to Devlin. I thought it took a deflection, obviously not, but it's the first real chance for Aberdeen. Just shows you it's amazing, isn't it? Look, for 18 minutes they offer absolutely nothing, then you go behind and you get a reaction. You wonder where that reaction is right from the off.
Yeah, it's a worry, you'd have to say, for Aberdeen fans right now, albeit all the positivity at the start of the season, but 6 without a win going into this game, and they're behind at Rugby Park this afternoon. John, just come back to the game that Alan's at there, your former club Dundee United. What a return to the top flight. Jim Goodwin doing an absolutely terrific job there. As things stand, they're 5th in the table.
He's doing a brilliant job. I watched the game last Sunday. 0-0 against Celtic. He's obviously got the team set up really, really well defensively. But not only that, he's got Sam Dalby through the middle, who's I think he's got 8 goals in the Premier League this season, top goal scorer. Jim set them up really, really well. They've got pace on the side as well. It was interesting the way he spoke last week, that they would need to get forward at times, and they've got Middleton on one side who can take them forward. I thought he was good in the game and a good threat just to get them up the pitch. But again, it's great for United, promoted from the Championship last season, and as you say, sitting 5th in the Premier League.
Dalby top scorer on 8, Czerny on 7, Cal McGregor on 6, along with a few others there as well. Dessers, Kyogo and Kim Pioka also on 6 goals.
Dalby's up there with an honourable mention. I know you're going to come to it later,
just
but
stole mine,
that type
She's just stole mine as well. I've got it written down in paper. I think she's looked there.
You've just aired it to everybody.
Listen, Alan, I think I'm going to be pretty certain, right? I know who Alan's going to go for honourable mention, right? I'm going to write it down, right, John? You can say there's no cheating. Okay. I'm going to write it down.
I don't say it out. Why don't you just write it in that bit of paper, fold it, don't even let John see.
Right, I'm writing it down, okay?
I'll keep it here.
Oh, I need that back. I need to get another.
It's a chance. Ambrose! Oh, he's got to do better.
Yes, Derek.
Oh, I think it's Duke. Actually, it was Duke. Yeah, he's put through. I think the linesman's get the flag up, but he's 1v1. The angle's always against him. He's got to look for a little dink, on this surface. Just a little stab of the ball over the keeper. He goes for power, and he slaps it kind of well wide in the end up, but it's been a good reaction since going a goal behind from Aberdeen. So that's Devlin, now Duke with efforts at goal.
This will be a good test here. Well, I know our pundits. It's been sealed by Leano there, Alan, so I've gone with who you will go with for your honourable mention. We'll do that after 4 o'clock. I'm putting myself now, I don't know why, but hey,
I was honestly going to pick Dalby, so if you've not wrote Dalby, I'll need to pick somebody else.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's gone for your second pick then.
All right, okay.
Right, what's happening in your game, Al?
United are on top.
At Dundee, it's a goal for the visitors, Ross County. Take the lead. A strike from outside the box, left foot. I'm just trying to see, is it Chilvers that has the strike?
Yeah,
left
Chilvers,
foot.
yeah.
Chilvers, really good build-up play outside the box, drills it low to the left-hand side, his right-hand side, and it nestles in the back of the net. Ross County well worthy of it. It's been quite an even game, but County have played well. They've taken the game to Dundee, and they've got a deserved lead here.
Well, I've not seen the replays of it, but it looks as if the goalkeeper maybe a bit slow to get out his near side.
I'm not. Is it not more in the corner? I wouldn't, and I'm normally quite hard on goalkeepers.
This angle here, Ranks will give us a better look at it behind the goal.
Yeah. Maybe he can move his feet a little bit better.
Right in the corner.
It's in the corner, isn't it?
I think it's credit to
You're speaking as a manager there, Mr.
Credit
Rankin.
to the attacker.
I actually thought Kenny was slowing down, but when you see it from that angle, it looks as if the defender's made his cell look big, and it's a really good finish for Chilvers, putting it right in the corner.
Yeah, and they really need that goal. They've been really poor away from home.
Kenny, I need to know. I can't deal with this. I need to know the honourable mention. Honestly, I've got a problem with that. It's even like Christmas presents. I had my Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. I can't wait. Honestly, Kenny, you need to tell me.
No.
You just want to get to the wine earlier, Fergie. That's all it is.
Biscuits, honestly, I don't know what it is. I've obviously got an issue with that.
And here's a free kick here for Graham Carey of St Johnstone. He's going to take it. Just over the bar.
That's what I like about Derek. You get brutal honesty from Derek, don't you? No hiding anything from Derek Ferguson. He just calls
honestly,
as it is.
I can't
literally no hiding anything.
It's playing on my mind.
4 o'clock. I'm convinced I'm going to be right. I'm convinced I'm going to be right. I'm going to put it out there. Honourable mention for all the pundits, and also who would win Player of the Season if the award was made right now. We've reached the halfway point. Some of the clubs will reach the halfway point today. Let's then get back to the game at Celtic Park. Motherwell pushing forward there.
Ken, I was just going to come in and say that Tawanda Maswanisi's been excellent. Now, when Al put out the teams, he thought 3-5-2. I thought 5-4-1 because I know Motherwell came here last year, went 5-4-1 and got a point. They went to Ibrox and played 5-4-1 and ended up winning the game 2-1. So Maswanisi's out on the left-hand side. He's their out ball. He's their ball carrier. He's the one with pace who can get them up the pitch. There was a slack pass out towards Tony Ralston. He intercepts the pass around about the halfway line and travels up to the edge of the 18-yard box. Eventually wins Motherwell the corner. So if Motherwell are going to get anything from the game, he's going to play a big part in it. He's been a real bright spark. He came on last Friday night against Kilmarnock when Motherwell were down to 10 players. He carried the fight then. So it's the ideal situation for him. There's plenty of space to go and work in. Celtic have lots of the ball. They're moving it quickly. They don't have the same zip that they had possibly a month ago or 6 weeks ago in their play. Sometimes a goal can change that, but they're moving the ball, they're moving it, they're not really penetrating, they're getting in behind. Nicholas Kuhn's a blow for me. He's the one player that can unlock the door for them. He's on the bench this afternoon. He wasn't involved against Dundee United, but yeah, Motherwell were in the attack, but still 0-0. Bit of breakaway for Celtic.
Yeah, here we go. Celtic on the attack there. You feel, John, with this Celtic team.
Big save. It's going to go in. Is it going to go in? Oh, it's going to go in. Oh, it's not going to go in. It's off the line. Free kick for the wall. Oh, my goodness gracious.
All right, here we are.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Adam Maida drives forward on the right-hand side. He plays in Dyson Maida. He is the strike. Aston Oxford saves it. It's up in the air, spinning towards his goal. He goes back and palms it off, hits Ewan Wilson, almost knocks him out. Maida has another header. Dan Casey clears it offline. He then heads it, and he's brought down for a foul. Wow, what a passage of play, and it's 0-0.
And you described it perfectly there. That was incredible.
You see bodies everywhere in the 18-yard box. It was actually two Motherwell bodies. One went to plant their feet and slipped outside the Celtic. That's how we ended up the counter attack there.
So there's two physios, there's two doctors on the pitch looking at the players. Dyson Maida's up and he's okay. Aston Oxford, I think it clashed with Ewan Wilson.
Yeah.
Callum McGregor's actually speaking to the ref as if he's thinking there's possible penalty or something in it. I'm not too sure if there is.
I don't know if he's complaining for the first instance that Dyson Maida looks to try and follow in the rebound with his head. A Motherwell player clears it, but I would say it's more Dyson Maida diving into the boot of the player.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Aye.
So a great passage of play for the last couple of minutes. Motherwell had a way attack down the left-hand side, and then Celtic showing that if you open up and you leave yourself exposed, you can be in trouble.
That was like, we're watching that again. It's like madness, isn't it?
Bodies in the line stuff though, Kenny. I mean, it's good to see from a defensive perspective. Motherwell looking to try and take responsibility. Every player throwing their body.
Stuart Kettle will probably be angry at that situation here, because Brendan touched on it in his pre-match interview, speaking about Kofi Balmer's long throw, and it actually comes from that. They take a short throw in, and then Celtic go and counter straight away.
The problems continue for Ange Postecoglou's Spurs. A goal down away at Nottingham Forest. They're having a great season, Forest. Alanga with a goal on 28 minutes. Let's get back to Alan at McDermott Park. Alan, how would you describe the shape, the tactics of the St Johnstone team today? Is it a bit more reserved?
Yeah, it's a bit more reserved. He's only got two strikers, and Carey trying to join in to make it a third if he can. He's playing just off the two, and he's getting a bit of joy, Carey. He's just as I say that, he slipped Mackenzie Kirk through with a hat. Good hit, good save, Walton from Dundee United there. That's really good play. Carey plays it in, gets it down to Kirk. He's on his right foot shot. Good save by the United keeper. Corner to St Johnstone. They have been better, St Johnstone, the last 4 or 5 minutes. Dundee United started well, a lot of pressure, but Carey hit a free kick just over the bar, and then that shot there from Kirk. St Johnstone right back in it, but still 0-0 here at McDermott Park.
We kicked off in sports and at midday, a 12:30 start at Tynecastle. Hearts 1, Hibs 2. Heard live from the Hibs manager David Gray. We'll try and bring Neil Critchie to you later in the programme. Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 0. Our third commentary of the day comes at 5:45. It comes from Paisley, St Mirren at home to Rangers. All the build-up to that one. Our County good value for their lead at Dens, Willie?
Sorry, Kenny, can I just come in? There's been a medical incident at Celtic Park in the main stand up to my right-hand side. The referee has stopped play. The Motherwell doctor has gone up to get involved as well. So just in case you're looking at your screen in the studio and see nothing's going on, that's the reason why.
Craig, we have actually just seen the pictures of it, and kind of both benches looked quite invested in it as well. I see a lot of the Celtic players standing out in the touchline. Is it?
But yeah, there's a lot of medical people around. The two doctors, certainly the Motherwell doctor went up. There was someone from Celtic as well going up to see. I don't know if it's male or female, but certainly there was a lot of concern from supporters around the
down speaking to, I think, the fourth official is the pictures that we're getting on the screen.
So imagine if both doctors are out of play, then the game can't continue in case one of them has to go onto the pitch.
Yeah, let's hope everything is okay there. We're sending our best wishes to those involved in that. Well, Stephen will keep us updated when that game restarts at Celtic Park. The players just on the pitch at the moment, the referee waiting for the signal that he can get the game restarted at Celtic Park. Back to yourself, Willie, at Dens.
Yeah, not a great deal in it, but obviously they've got that goal. It was a well-taken goal. You just feel both sides playing the same formation. There's a lot of bodies in midfield. There's not a great deal of room there to for either set of players to build things up. But the pitch is great. They're trying to be progressive with their build-up. I think from a Dundee point of view, they need more energy. They need to keep it a little bit more simpler. The fans are getting a little bit restless here, obviously with their team, a goal down, but they need to get the ball in the box more often, just for the sake of getting the fans behind them, because the longer this goes on, the slower the build-up is, then the fans are going to turn.
Yeah, no doubt at all about that. What's happening down at Rugby Park? Any sign of an Aberdeen comeback there, Derek?
It's been a decent reaction, Kenny, to them going behind, because they were woeful for the first 18 minutes. Obviously Kelly taking the lead, but it's been better. They've had a couple of opportunities, starting to get a little bit of a foothold in the game. You're starting to see Shinnie, Nielsen in the middle of the park, starting to go on the ball, make a few passes, and that's what they need. They need to try and gain some confidence from somewhere. So they're making a better fist of it, but at the moment Kelly's still relatively in control. Is that in an envelope, that, Kenny? Is that really in an envelope?
Honestly, I would take to have you in the Secret Santa.
It's in a bit of paper, folded, Derek.
Right. I'm certain I'm going to get
I
it
didn't
right.
look either, so obviously get a wee bit more patience than yourself. I've managed to refrain from looking at it as he passed it across the desk.
Don't say who you've got, Leanne, but have you got your player of the season?
Well, I had a couple, but Sam Dalby was certainly a consideration, but I think he's been put in the bin after everybody's mentioned him so far.
Right,
There'll be much value in that.
We'll
at
get
4
that at 4
o'clock.
o'clock. Finished at lunchtime in England. Man City 1, Everton 1. 3 o'clock kickoffs. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0. Villa down to 10 men. Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. 5:30 start. Wolves at home to Manchester United. 8 o'clock. Liverpool at home to Leicester City. So that's you right up to date with all the action across the leagues that are playing. It's a busy spell, of course, the festive period for football, as we've already discussed that. Motherwell will be delighted, I would have thought, Stephen Craig, with a start to the game at Celtic Park.
They will be, Kenny, but we always know when you play against the quality that Celtic have, that one moment or a piece of brilliance from an individual can suddenly unlock the door. So your concentration levels have to be at their optimum, and they have been so far. And I have to say, the 4 across midfield have anticipated square passes and negative passes really well. 3 or 4 occasions, Tom Sparrow's nicked it, Masonisi's nicked it, Harry Payton has nicked it. The problem is when they get forward to Tony Watt, sometimes he's a little bit isolated, but Celtic just keep moving the ball, they keep passing the ball. Arameda has a shot from the edge of the box, just puts it wide. But yeah, Stuart Cutwell will be absolutely delighted, because clearly your first aim is to come and frustrate and try and tame Celtic. However, I said there's other facets that you have to be good at. You've got to be brave in the ball, you've got to have composure, you've got to have running power, you've got to have dynamism. They've had lots of that this afternoon. They just haven't really carried a threat so far. But barring that Aston Oxford save down to his right hand side and that mad Stramash in the 18-yard box, comfortable's not the word, but they certainly look as if they're taking to their tasks very well.
Stephen, as a former defender, I know Kyogo's not been at his brilliant best this season, albeit we saw a fantastic goal a couple of weeks ago, a great touch and great finish for him. So you get Ida in there today. But as a central defender, are you delighted when you see Kyogo not in the starting lineup?
Well, I wouldn't say delighted, but the 3 centre halves would probably rather play against the physical presence of Arameda, just because they can out-muscle him and they can fight and they can strap and they can get close. Whereas Kyogo, it's probably the closest thing I've witnessed to Henrik Larsson for a long time.
Yeah.
His movement, he waits till you close your shoulders, then he makes his movement. His second movement, he's always alight, he's always bright, he's hard to pick up. You can't anticipate him, he's always proactive. So he's probably the more difficult one to play against when you're pinned in and around your 18-yard box. Whereas Arameda, they're quite happy for straight balls and cross balls to come in, because that's what they want to do. They don't want people in and around their feet. So yeah, they probably would rather play against Arameda. He may score a hat-trick this afternoon, but certainly Kyogo's the one who would probably cause you the most concern because of his movement.
Your thoughts on that, Willie Miller? What did you prefer?
Oh, without doubt, yeah. I think the smaller type of player, the more kind of an intellectual type of player, the one that you know has a real idea of where they can hurt you, and that's usually on your blind side and getting in behind you. So I would agree with that. It's much more simpler just playing against a big centre forward, particularly if you've got a big centre half that he can actually go and do it, and you can just kind of a Swanee round about him. Craigs, did you ever do that, or were you the big centre half that had to
well, listen,
go there and get
I just kicked and headed anybody that moved, whether it was a ball or whether it wasn't.
You were the one that just Swanee around at the back.
Kofi Bammer's just about to take his first long throw, but it's actually in his own half as opposed to the Celtic half. I know Brendan thought that he was in the team to take throw-ins. I think he's a wee bit better than that, but yeah, he's at his first long throw up the line and has allowed Motherwell to clear the lines.
Yeah, certainly a good weapon, no doubt at all about that. The game you're at Dens Park, Willie, it's disappointing so far from the home team.
Yeah, without doubt, they haven't created too many opportunities, if any. Adewumi was in down the left-hand side, but the cross was poorer than that.
Oh, chance for Dundee United. They're looking for a handball. It's Mackenzie Kirk with a missed kick. Misses at United at the byline. He's flipped to the back post. Eventually cleared away. There was a chance at the back there, Leanne. You'll get to see it, John. You'll get to see the chance of United are piling on the pressure against St Johnstone at McDermott Park. Still 0-0 though, 35 minutes in the clock.
Chance for Arameda. Guys, Almeida, I have to say, has been kept under wraps really well by Marvin Calera this afternoon, but he gets beyond him, fizzes it across goal. It may just be slightly behind him. He makes contact with it, but thankfully for Motherwell, right into the hands of Aston Oxborough.
That's a half chance, Craig. It definitely is. Just on that Balmer long throw, do not just throw it back to Oxborough, who can then kick it much further than he tried to throw that a minute ago. Did you see?
I would agree with you.
Like, everybody dropped off the game, and the goalkeeper is in literally 50 yards of space, and he still threw the ball. Motherwell won a free kick, I think, off it, just maybe a coming together. But I was watching it unfold, thinking, cue the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I've played with guys that are more accurate throwing it.
Yeah, then the goalie's kicked.
Name names.
I'm not going to do that, Kenny. Try to get me into trouble.
Right, OK, let's get the latest scores in the Premiership today. Full-time, Hearts 1, Hibs 2, Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 0, Dundee United 0. 5:45 start in Paisley St Mirren at home to Rangers. Also, just want to ask, John, we've got you in about the Championship. I saw your post-match comments. You felt you're a bit unlucky, perhaps, not to take something against the leaders Falkirk last weekend.
Yeah, I thought we were, Kenny. Obviously, you go to Falkirk, they're top of the league. They're there for a reason. They've got really good players, so you have to be switched on defensively. I thought defensively we were set up really well, and limited them to shots from distance rather than round about the box, which is one of their strengths. So disappointed with that. But you come away from it and there's positives to take from the performance in regards to how well we were defensively, and if we'd have taken one of our chances on the day, it may have been different. The Championship's ever so competitive as every game, but it's one where you look forward to getting into each and every game because you realise and you know there's a chance you can get something from the game, but if you switch off at any moment you can get your fingers burned very, very quickly.
Do you think anyone can catch Falkirk? What do you mean? Livingston are 5 points behind, Ayr United are further 2 points behind, Thistle they're on 29 points, they're 12 behind it with a game in hand. Are they the standout team?
Yeah, the style of play, they've got a really good style of play and they've got players that can hurt you. For me, Livingston have got that when it's 0-0 in a game and they're comfortable within the game. Their players are quite settled at 0-0. They don't get agitated. They've got plenty of experience within their side, and they know at some point they'll get an opportunity within the game. When I look at how Falkirk play, they've got threats all over the pitch, and having those threats all over the pitch are obviously a danger. I know Leanne covers a lot of games on the Friday night, but when you look at your Morrisons, your Aguimans, your Calvin Millers, they're real players that can break down any defence, and they did a good time at Parkhead against Celtic earlier in the season.
They did, yeah.
And you see that there's good players in the Championship, and it's making sure that, as I said, that you're at it, because at any time you switch off you get punished.
Yeah, we all love it, the Championship. A set of fans a bit unhappy there at one of the games.
It's here, Kenny. It's just the referee is causing the home support to react with a lot of boos or screaming at him. It's actually, it's a contact sport. You don't need to go there with me, Kenny, because I love when you see Vassell's going up against, we're talking about the two centre backs, and he's battering them about at times, but it's when the forward player has a go at one of the defenders that more often than not the defender gets the foul, gets the award, which that's where all the frustrations coming from. There's Armstrong with a shot, just blazes it over. More of an even game now, Kenny. Certainly a little bit better from Aberdeen, but the standards that they set early on in the season, they're way off them.
Derek, who was the hard man that you played against? Who was the real tough character?
Well, we spoke about him earlier. Big man, Wally will know him, Neil Cooper.
Yeah.
He used to, he played keep it up with me quite a few times. In training as well. The big fella didn't need a ball. Just.
It was his record.
But I tell you what, the big fella could play as well. And probably the hardest I played with, might surprise a few of them, was a guy called Kevin Ball at Sunderland.
Oh, yeah.
He was a madman. Absolute madman. There's a wee chance for Kelly. He was. And what I loved about him, it was like, sometimes you get players that will go into tackles knowing that they could hurt themselves, and that was Bolly. You know, he threw himself into tackles. You go, oh my goodness, you're going to hurt yourself. But that's what I class as a real hard man. You know, you get players that go in for the behind and knowing that they're not going to, hurt themselves, but they know they were going to hurt the opponent. But so I like guys like that.
Yeah, I saw his name mentioned in a podcast.
He was mad.
Him. It was like dealing with someone that tried to take the mickey out of him in training. It was a big mistake. It was very clear. It was what came out of that one. Let's bounce around the ground. Just a couple of minutes to go until half-time. There's a slight delay there at Celtic Park, but a chance now for Motherwell to get into the break. All square, Stephen.
Yeah, Kenny, you always say to your players that when you come to the big stadiums and you're fighting in games, you're doing well, don't clock watch, don't edge towards the clock and start to take your eye off the ball. But I think there comes a point when you reach 43, 44 minutes, the message has to reverberate around the players and say, listen, let's keep their concentration levels up. We've done ever so well to get to this stage, to get the 0-0. Let's not give Celtic a helping hand to get themselves in front before half-time. So that's going to be going around the Motherwell players at this moment in time, whereas Celtic want to make the breakthrough. They want to try and kill the spirit of Motherwell before half-time. So there's probably going to be, I would imagine, 3 or 4 minutes added on. We're just at 43 and a half minutes. So they're doing the hard work, they're doing the hard yards, but Celtic will keep pushing, they'll keep probing, they'll keep moving the ball, and they'll look for that breakthrough, whereas Motherwell, it's all about defending and absorbing pressure.
Have they played enough, Craigs, when they've won it back, Motherwell, or could they be doing more to try and relieve some of that pressure in possession?
Penalty kick! Penalty kick, just when we're talking about it. It's a cross ball from Bernardo. It takes deflection, spends a lot of time in the air. Aston Oxford's coming to grab it, doesn't realise that Yang's coming on his blind side. I think Yang gets touch of the ball and Oxford clatters into him, and it's a penalty after all that hard work. It looks like it's going to be a penalty for Celtic almost on the half-time.
I think it looks pretty clear.
Here we are.
By Oxborough's reaction. Think so?
The ball could, there's a deflection on it as well, but looks as if he's offside.
Yeah, maybe. They'll look at that, certainly.
Well, VAR's checking for the penalty foul, so you think there could be possibly an offside in it as well?
John thinks that there. I probably was more focused just in the contact as it was coming in, Craigs, but if we get another look at it, certainly. I mean, Oxborough makes no complaint, so I think there's enough there in terms of the contact for it to be a penalty. It will just be whether Yang was offside.
Right, we're waiting for another replay to come in as everyone waits there at Celtic Park for the decision.
How has Yang looked, Craigs, just while we wait for this decision? I know he's known Nicholas Kuhn, certainly, but...
he's been the one player the Celtic fans have had a few grumblings about.
There's much in that.
No, I know we've just had another replay.
There was an announcement going on, but the penalty has been given. So Yang's one of the players. He's ran the ball out of play a couple of times. He's dribbled into traffic.
Goal, St Johnstone!
Yes, Alan.
He's done it again. Mackenzie Kirk, brilliant play. He starts it, gives it to Kimpioka. He finds Kirk. One touch out his feet and then bends into the bottom corner just on the stroke of half time. St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 0.
Right.
It's a well worked goal. I just wonder, could Kimpioka have been marginally offside there, Alan, in the
He might have been. It's over the far side for me, Leanne.
1-0 Celtic here at Celtic Park. We spoke about Motherwell trying to absorb the pressure. Clock watch, get yourself to half time. Celtic wanted to burst their bubble and they've done that. Arnie Engels, low into the bottom corner. 1-0 to the champions.
That's a brilliant penalty, isn't it?
That's a lovely penalty. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, right into the bottom corner. He certainly deals with pressure when it comes to penalties, does Arnie Engels. He's been very good so far.
Right, but a chance for another look at the goal there at McDermott. Here we are, Leanne.
Just see the finish. We'll not get the angle whether it was offside. It was just as I kind of glanced across at Kenny. It might have been good from the get-go, but it's an important goal for St Johnstone as well. Right at the
all clear.
Yeah.
Do you like him, Alan? Do you like Mackenzie Kirk?
You know what, it's baffling when Hearts are toiling for strikers that a young one go. You know, one with pace that can score goals, as we've seen here. He's got, 4 goals now for St Johnstone. He's done very well. That's a lovely finish from him, it really is. Dundee United were the better side. They were dominating corners, pressure, but St Johnstone have got that pace with Kimpioka and Kirk up front. 1-0 just before half-time.
Half-time, Kenny. Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0.
Thanks to Derek Ferguson. A wee chance for you, Willie?
not at my end. Not at my end, Kenny.
I heard a wee shout there somewhere just watching that game. So it's just approaching half-time. Are they fairly comfortable, County, Willie?
They've kind of fallen back and just restricting space for Dundee. Dundee's had the majority of the ball for the last 15 minutes or so, but they're really struggling to do anything with it. And then Ross County are trying to, hitting the break. Another little shot there from Chilvers, but it was easily taken. So, 3 minutes added on here, and they're looking good for it, Ross County, although Dundee have had a lot of possession, but really struggling to break the visitors down.
That could turn out, when you look at the table, Leanne, the way things are, and we've got the second half to come, right? But Ross County, we're going to 18 points, 10 spots. St Johnstone, 17 points, 11 spots. At the halfway stage of the season, most of the clubs will have played 19 games, the halfway point. Hearts, bottom of the table, 16 points. Incredible.
It's unbelievable. It is, and that's why, every time you ask Alan, is he concerned?
Yeah.
His response is yes, because when you're in that position, and don't get me wrong, I think even if it remains as tight as it is, for me looking at it, even if you got to the split, I would still fancy Hearts to have more than the rest to get out of trouble down there.
But it's what you get when you sleep at the wheel. You rest on your laurels, you don't get players in at the right positions, don't get enough in the right areas of the park. You're always going to struggle. When your squad, yes, it's depleted, but it's also lacking real pace, it's lacking leaders, and certainly needing a foil for Lon Shanklin up front. Young Wilson, brilliant, but if you're relying on a 17-year-old, you're always going to struggle.
But it's also just now, right, we're getting into a transfer window, so it's Neil Critchley's first transfer window, and it's all going to be data-based. So are they looking at players at that stage of the season that's been through this before, with the situation that they're in at this moment in time, or are they looking at players with different data and different stats that matches it?
Yeah, take it away out.
Deflected shot just over the top of the crossbar, nearly 2-0.
I had Mackenzie last season. He came to from Hearts to Hamilton on loan. But no matter where he is in the pitch, his first thought and only sole thought is, can I shoot? Can I hit the target? It's great, and I'm not surprised at all to see him score goals for St Johnstone.
Chance
all he needed was a run of games.
Yes, Willie.
Chance here for Ross County. Chilvers again down the right hand side, did really well. Very quick feet he's got, hitting the byline. We all know how difficult it is to defend. A little bit of good fortune, the Dundee defender, he didn't play it particularly well, but it was really good work from Ross County, and Chilvers in particular. He's been a real threat the first half.
Yes, he's still playing there, still playing at Celtic Park, thanks to Alan Preston. Would you go along with Alan, John? Do you think Mackenzie Kirk could do a job for Hearts right now?
Yeah, he obviously scores goals, and when you're creating chances like Hearts are and not being able to finish them up, he's a natural goal scorer. That is right. What he is. He's a natural goal scorer. He's a number 9 who can run in behind, get real good pace. Obviously needs to learn the physical side of the game, because he hasn't played against men up until this season, apart from the Lowland League, which they were full time, and the players they were playing against was part time. But Mackenzie's got a bright future. He'll score a lot of goals no matter where he is. You just need to get the ball in and around the box, and he'll take those opportunities. And I can see, like today's goal, we've obviously seen in the screens, when his back's to goal, he takes his touch with his left, and how he manages to swivel and find the corner of the net from that angle is great striker play. Now, to have that potential, and Mackenzie's a 2004 birthday, I think, so he's only just turned 20,
Celtic, Kenny,
21 in February.
Thanks, Stephen.
He'll be 21 in February. Haven't scored goals in the Premier League just now. There's an exciting future ahead of him, but sometimes it just becomes a matter of patience.
Yeah, that's the thing, and really interesting to see what they do, the analytics company, when they're recruiting next month. Andrew McKinley, the chief executive, has already said they've got a few strikers that have been identified. They're looking to sign at least one of
half-time
these.
At Dens, Kenny, 1-0 for the visitors.
Thanks to Willie Miller. So plenty of action. Just the 4 games kicking off at 3 o'clock in the top flight this afternoon, but they are delivering goals. So it's Hearts 1, Hibs 2. That was a full-time score. That was a 12:30 start. Celtic 1, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 0. John just been describing the qualities that Mackenzie Kirk has there. He got that goal just in the stroke of half-time. Kyle Vassell with the goal for Kilmarnock after 18 minutes, and it is Noah Chilvers that got the goal for Ross County in 23 minutes. That's given them the lead away at Dundee, and a wonderful penalty, really cool from Arnie Engels right in the stroke of half time. Celtic ahead 1-0 against Motherwell in England. The latest scores down there: Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, Newcastle United 1, 10-man Aston Villa 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. It finished Manchester City 1, Everton 1. All the reports to come from across Scotland in a couple of minutes' time.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
This Hogmanay.
Take me out.
Join me, Grant Stott, from 6 p.m. for 2 hours of epic Hogmanay hits.
Roddy Hart's in conversation with Justin Curry from 8.
We're going to talk all about your life in music.
Life changed overnight when you were on top of the pops.
Before presenting Delamitri in concert at Glasgow's Barrowland Ballroom.
Looks like
And Brian's live at 10 to take you into 2025.
So grab a glass, hold on to your loved ones, and let's come together.
Ring in the bells with BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We've been on air since midday. We brought you the early kick-off. What a game it was at Tynecastle. What a win for Hibs. We heard live from the delighted Hibs manager, David Gray. They had a 2-1 victory there. Huge celebrations with their away support behind the goal. That feels like a big win. Hearts, as things stand, they are bottom of the table. We're with you right through until 8 o'clock on the radio this evening. A 5:45 start in Paisley. St Mirren at home to Rangers. Full commentary to come from that one, and we're on the television today on BBC Scotland in around 6 minutes time, so you can watch the programme go out on there. Let's get to our second commentary match of the day. It comes from the east end of Glasgow, Celtic at home to Motherwell. Let's hear from our commentary team there, Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamont.
Yeah, thanks Kenny. Celtic 1, Motherwell 0. The goal didn't arrive until first half injury time, despite Celtic having dominated territory and possession for the majority of that first period, but they hadn't overly troubled Ashton Oxborough in the Motherwell goal. Callum McGregor had a shot from the edge of the box. It was deflected goalwards by Dyson Maida. I think it was packaged up, maybe Dan Casey had got the touch on it. Either way, Oxborough forced into a save, albeit we weren't sure if it was going to end up in the back of the net either way. However, he was also called into action 8 minutes later as Celtic broke forward. Adam Ida found Dyson Maida, who took a really good first touch, got the shot away. Oxborough was out to block it. It spun high in the air and looked like it might well loop back into the goal. However, Oxborough and at least one of his defenders got back there to prevent Maida getting another crucial touch to force it over the goal line, and they were eventually able to clear the lines, but they could do nothing in the end. In the 45th minute, as the ball was clipped into the area, Yang came in on the blind side of Oxborough and just got to the ball first. The goalkeeper catching the Celtic winger, and the referee didn't hesitate to point to the penalty spot. That was verified by VAR, and Arne Engels stepped up by this time into stoppage time to send Oxborough the wrong way and give Celtic the opening goal of the half, which, Paggy, I think we agreed in that first half commentary that you know, on the balance of play, they probably did deserve.
They deserved it because of their possession. I don't know what the stats are, but I'm sure it's way up in the sort of almost 70s, 80%. That the possession that Celtic have had, and maybe from that perspective you could say maybe they deserved it, but they didn't create a lot of chances apart from that one big counter attack that led to a skirmish in the Motherwell goal, and that Yang got his penalty. Could have been maybe one of those ones where the goalkeeper could have attacked the ball a little bit better and then not allowed the ball to get in front of him, and that's probably where he made contact with Yang. But Celtic happy to get that goal and really takes a little bit of pressure off them, because they have been struggling to put the ball in the back of the net for the last couple of weeks, and that then just takes a little bit of pressure, opens up the game for the second half.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Motherwell have drawn one each on their last 2 visits to Celtic Park. That's not beyond them, but they'll have to do more in attack. 82% to 18, the possession stats in that first half. Motherwell need to do more in the final third themselves. Celtic 1, Motherwell 0.
Thanks to the guys there at Celtic Park. Full second half commentary to come. Dundee are at home to Ross County this afternoon. There for us, Willie Miller.
Yeah, they are, Kenny, and here at Dens Park it's Dundee 0 and Ross County 1. It hasn't been a game full of, or a first half full of thrills. It's, for me, looking at the lineups with both teams adopting to play very similar shapes, 3 at the back and the 5 in the midfield. The midfield is over congested and very difficult to see any build-up play, so it hasn't been a thrilling game with chances. And I would say that Ross County so far deserve their lead. It came in 23 minutes, a really well built up goal down the right hand side, and it falls to Noah Chilvers outside the box. He gets it onto his left foot and he drills it low, past Carson and goal. It's right in the corner. I don't think the goalkeeper can be looking at that one, but the midfielder certainly can. It was well struck, well delivered into the back of the net. Since then it's been a case of Ross County really being more defensively set up, giving up space in the park, just falling back just outside the box and making it really difficult for Dundee. Dundee have shown lack of quality, lack of inspiration, lack of real chances, to be perfectly honest. And just before half time it was actually the visitors again that had the opportunities. Chilvers hitting the byline, cutting it back, and Dundee lucky to see the ball ricochet off a defender and into the arms of Carson. And then Hale had a strike from outside the box down the left hand side that hit the outside of the goal into the side netting that gave Dundee a scare. So at half time it is Dundee 0, Ross County 1, and I think they're well worthy of it.
Yeah, thank you to Willie Miller there. Let's then get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Aberdeen. Let's hear from Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, Kenny, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0. The home side, well, they took control right from the off and deservedly got their noses in front in 18 minutes. It was Murray over on that left-hand side cutting in, lovely in-swinging cross, and it was Meatoff failing to deal with it, and it was captain Kilfacel pouncing from close range to stab the ball home. Aberdeen, well, they needed to react, and they certainly did. They had efforts from Devlin and Duke that went close, but probably not enough for this large travelling support. Into the latter stages of this first half, a little bit more evenly balanced, you could say, but you always get the feeling that Kilmarnock are in control of this. So Aberdeen got a bit of work to do, Kenny, to stop this winless run they're on at the moment. So it's Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0.
Thank you to Derek Ferguson. A choice of listening once again on Sports, and for commentary of Celtic against the Motherwell, tune to digital 810 medium wave and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, tune to BBC Radio Scotland on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and you can follow all the action live online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
On day.
You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Kenny McIntyre. Welcome to viewers who are joining us on BBC Scotland. Hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas. We are at the 4 games that kicked off at 3 o'clock in the top flight. We've been on air since midday. Early we covered the Edinburgh Derby. What a great win for Hibs. They will bring you more detail on that. Leanne Crichton and John Rankin are alongside me in the studio. We had the half-time reports from our commentary match. Celtic ahead against Motherwell. Dundee behind at home to Ross County. We heard from Willie Miller there. We'll get more details from the guys. Derek Ferguson telling us about a half-time lead for Kilmarnock at home to Aberdeen. Let's then get to Alan Preston. You're watching Alan St Johnstone against Dundee United.
Well, the half-time score, Kenny, St Johnstone 1, Dundee United. Now, after a very uneventful opening 17 minutes, it was St Johnstone who had the first chance, and it was a free kick played into the box. Sanders with a header back across. There was Kimpioka at the back post just heading over. Carey then hit a free kick, but then just over the bar. But in 28 minutes, it was the first of 3 chances for young Mackenzie Kirk. Carey to Kirk at the tight angle on his right foot. Good shot, really good save by Walton away for a corner. Then the goal came in 44 minutes. Again, Kirk was involved at the start and finish. Great play with him and Kimpioka. Kimpioka rolled it back to him. With his back to goal, first touch out of his feet, quickly turned and found the bottom corner. Wasn't happy with that, tried to get a second. in 47 minutes when he was played through and his shot with the right foot just deflected over the top of the crossbar. Dundee United have had a series of corners without putting Ray under any pressure at all. Jim Gooden's got a bit of work to do at half-time. The half-time score, St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 0.
Thank you to Alan Preston. So in the 12:30 kick-off at Tynecastle, Hearts 1, Hibs 2. The 3 o'clock game, Celtic 1, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 1, Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 0. 5:45 start, St Mirren at home to Rangers. Full commentary to come on Sports, and we'll have the team news for you around about 5 o'clock, and we'll also obviously hear from both managers there. Just looking at the live league table, Leanne, as things stand, the bottom of the table, it's really tight. That was a big win for Hibs earlier on today. They're in 7th, 21 points. Kilmarnock 21 points, Dundee 19, County 18, St Johnstone 17. Right now, Leanne, Hearts bottom of the table. Craig Levine was there earlier for us, John Collins was there earlier for us. They both agreed the Hearts did not deserve to take anything from that game.
No, they didn't. And when you see the kind of aftermath in the post-match interviews and the comments, and you look on social media, I don't think anybody's disagreeing with the fact that Hibs deserved to win. Hearts showed very little in the game performance-wise. I think the manager is going to have a massive transfer window, a massive job to do. If he thinks that's where the answers lie, then he's going to need to recruit well. He's going to need to rely on those analytics to come up trumps for him, certainly in the new year, if Hearts are to get themselves out of the border that they're in. And look, for Hibs it's a massive win. The momentum seems to be building. Performance-wise, it's been getting better week on week. To win any derby game is brilliant. To win a derby in Boxing Day and put your rivals bottom of the table effectively, with other results around it, probably makes it that little bit sweeter.
Yeah, John, your former club, of course, I saw the huge celebrations behind the goal there, the big travelling support. It's good to still see that in Scottish football, that in these Edinburgh derby games they get the full allocation behind the goal. We heard live from David Gray earlier in the programme. It was a rough few weeks for him, but in recent weeks we've seen a lot of progress at both ends of the park.
100%. I mean, you look at the result last week, they go to Pittodrie and win 3-1, and then they go to Tynecastle this week and win 2-1. So coming off the back of two very difficult venues to go to and getting 6 points out of that, he'd have certainly took that. You speak about the crowds, Kenny. I mentioned it before me when we were speaking. I just think there's a special atmosphere at Tynecastle, especially when they allow the Hibs supporters to come to the game, having that full stand behind the goal. Now, when it goes 1-1 and Hearts are getting back into the game and begin to get the first 15 minutes of the second half, if Hibs don't have that support behind the goal and that encouragement behind the goal, the game could quite well have got away from them. But I think with that support there and that encouragement, they then go and kick on again. And we speak about how important a derby is, especially at this time of the year. I look at Dwight Gale's movement for the goal when he comes from the back post, almost in the touchline, and gets right across the defender at the near post. His movement's really good, but I'm looking at a guy at 35 who's played in the Premier League in England, made most of his money, and his career is coming to an end. He's ran from one end of the pitch to the other end of the pitch to go and celebrate with those supporters, which obviously shows. We spoke about it through the week that he's ready to retire at the end of the season. I don't think he is. With having that passion, he's certainly not.
Yeah, it was a great finish and a great win for Hibs. Alan Preston, you're at McDermott Park for us this afternoon. You were saying, Alan, before the afternoon results put Hearts bottom of the table where they stand right now, you're talking about a huge concerns for your club right now.
Yeah, without a doubt, Kenny. They're there on merit. They've not been good enough, and if they find themselves bottom of the table after the games play out this afternoon, halfway through the season, that's where they deserve to be. It's not been good enough. The fans pile. They've reached a landmark, actually, the supporters at the Foundation of Hearts. They're over 18 million have been put into the club, and the AGM was a couple of weeks ago. All very flowery, all very nice, what they've done with the stand and everything else that goes with it. None of that worries the Hearts fans. They just want to see a team on the pitch that they can be proud of, and at the moment, halfway through the season, that's certainly not the case.
In England, there was a lunchtime kick-off. Manchester City 1, Everton 1, 3 o'clock games. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0, Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0, Villa down to 10 men, Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Southampton 0, West Ham United 0, 5:30 start, Wolves at home to Manchester United, 8 o'clock Liverpool at home to Leicester City. So speaking about Hearts, bottom of the table, Celtic of course top of the table, Stephen Craigan, but they left it late in the half there to go ahead against Motherwell.
Yeah, it was the perfect end to the first half for them. I said they were getting a little bit frustrated. They hadn't created an awful lot of clear-cut chances. They weren't cutting through Motherwell and ripping them open. They were having to be patient. They were having to move the ball at times. 21 players were about 40 yards from Motherwell's goal. Only Kasper Schmeichel was in the Celtic half. but they got the breakthrough. Whether that changes Motherwell's setup and how they go about the second half, probably not initially. I still think they'll sit deep and they'll be hard to play through, and they'll try and frustrate. Set plays, they haven't really, I think they've had one corner kick, so they haven't really had the chance to put Celtic under any pressure. From open play, they probably haven't been good enough. They know they're going to be limited in possession, but you have to try and be productive with that. You've got to try and get yourself up the pitch. They haven't done it often enough. So set plays could be the way. I remember John Obika coming on last year and scoring a late goal from a corner kick from Motherwell. Of course, he's now in the coaching staff. He'll not be involved, but that's the kind of thing that has to be in their mind. Do not concede a quick second, otherwise it could be a long afternoon. But yeah, Celtic in complete control.
Just to explain to viewers who are tuned in on BBC Scotland, we've got all the games coming into the studio here, so we can look, we can go to the guys can say to us, was that a penalty, was that offside, and the guys can have a wee look in here in the studio and give an opinion on that. It's obviously more difficult for our pundits at the ground. Let's then get to Dens Park. See the team's just coming back out there. William Miller, a big job for the home side to do to get back into this one.
Well, a huge job, isn't it? Tony Docherty's got to do something to try and inspire.
Really good save by the keeper. Still 1-0 to St Johnstone over Dundee United.
Well, catches that well, Alan, doesn't he?
Yeah, lovely strike. Really good.
Yeah, that was a very good effort. They're really telling us about the substitutions at Dens Park. A man renowned for making really positive substitutions is Jimmy Tilleen, the Aberdeen manager. You'll have to find something in this second half to change the course of this game, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, no change in terms of personnel, no change in terms of shape, and I just think they need to bring a little bit more speed to their game and get the guys on the ball that can make the difference. You know, Keskinen, of course, you know, but Aberdeen have that midfield pairing of Shinnie and Nielsen. They've got to get the ball to these guys. Duke as well on the right hand side. So it's again, it's like Kilmarnock look. For me, they look so comfortable in their shape. They've got they've got the danger men in the wide areas. Armstrong, Murray, and that midfield. You know, you've got Polworth in there, Lyons, Armstrong. You know, a real good engine. But no, Jimmy Tilleen has not done anything in terms of the shape, the personnel. But I think he's got to change it because they've got to. Surely this massive following that they've got to give the fans a little bit more than what we're seeing at the moment.
Jaden Morris will be on soon.
You think so? That injection of pace.
He's turned games.
Wally.
Yeah, he's turned games constantly so far this season. Hasn't done it when he's started games, but certainly he's been a real impact substitute.
Has there been a noticeable difference, Willie? Has there been something you could put your hand on to say, look, that's why it's not been working in recent weeks?
I think the energy has kind of gone out to the team. You know, you've got quite an experience and older, two midfield players sitting there as well, and I don't think they've looked as dominant as they were looking. And of course, defensively, I think Malloy is shaded. I thought he was going to go on to have a really strong season. Started the season well, and Rubicic's always had it in him. He's always had it in him to make mistakes. And he doesn't deal with pressure too well. So I think defensively, Mitov going out perhaps has had an effect on these two centre backs. I don't think Doohan's done anything particularly wrong, but sometimes when you change that, the goalkeeper and the confidence isn't there with whoever's behind you, maybe that's had an impact too. But it is certainly a struggle, and it has been a struggle for the last 6 games.
Yeah. I would sacrifice
Goal,
one of the
Dundee
midfielders.
United!
Yes, Alan.
It's been a great start to the second half for him. Just trying to see who it is. Is it Middleton? Graham Middleton cutting in on his right foot over the far side. It's a wonderful finish from him. Dundee United have started the second half really well. St Johnstone defended a little bit, but he cuts inside and the right foot shot finds the ball.
I have to tell you the reaction, the faces in here in the studio. John Rankin, you go.
I'm not sure that's a wonderful finish, but Alan. No, he comes inside in his left foot. He does great because I think he goes by 2 or 3 players and he swings his right foot. Me and you on a right foot is no a great combination. I think Glenn Middleton's probably the same, but I think he catches the goalkeeper out his near post.
Yeah,
it looks as if
where we sit, John, it looks so good for me. It looks as if it goes in the corner for me, but
we're just getting a replay now. Let's have a look at it. He does well. I think the fact in his right foot, it's a good strike. It is a good strike. I think the fact he's on his right is what's caught the goalkeeper out. I don't think he's expecting it, but it's right into the bottom corner, very similar.
I think it's going to hit the post and get in as we're behind the goal here, so we've got to be...
He does well. The keeper perhaps could do better, but I think he cuts in really well. Nice nutmeg with the left foot, takes it on with the right, bottom corner. It's a good goal for me.
The defender coming out so quickly.
Any right foot shot It goes in the goals for a lefty. It's a great goal.
Usually just for
You're right,
standing on,
Biscuits. It's
innit?
a great finish.
A wonderful finish.
You're not going to be happy with your goalkeeper, are you, John Rankin? Come on.
No, when I look at it again, and the defender rushes out and throws himself at it and makes him look big, it almost catches the goalkeeper blinded, but I don't know, there's not a lot of power in the shot for me. It's almost, he swings his leg at it, winds it up, but it goes right in the corner. Again, from my point of view, left footer swinging your right foot at it, I'd be delighted with the finish, but if it's my goalkeeper, I'd be asking questions.
Yeah, big goal there for Dundee United. They're having a terrific campaign under Jim Goodwin on the return to the top flight. We've had many United fans on the programme this season. They are delighted with what they're seeing. And there were times, don't forget, when they were questioned whether or not Jim Goodwin was the right man for their football club. He is delivering this campaign. Just seeing Stephen Craig in the pictures coming in from Celtic Park. It's going to be a long old afternoon for these Motherwell defenders, I think.
It is, Kenny, but the problem is when Motherwell go on attack, they have 5 defenders against 3 attackers. So the minute it breaks down, then there's an overload in midfield, there's an overload in wide areas. I think they have to try and encourage at least a couple of the defenders, even not. Whoa, it's on a handball. Oh, Tawanda Maswanisi's going crazy down the left-hand side. He tries to cross it into the box. Cameron Carter-Vickers, I'm not too sure his hands in an unnatural position.
No, his arms look quite...
It looks as if it's quite down to his side. It's just because
yeah.
I'm directly behind it, Lana. It hits his arm. I'd be
Gonna get a good angle here, Craigs.
I'd be surprised if it's a penalty.
His arms is by his side. It comes off his elbow.
Derek Ferguson.
It's brilliant from Murray. Just cutting in again from the left-hand side. That right peg. He's trying to find the top corner. Tell you what a save from Mitov. Right up in that. Away to his left-hand side. They'll still get the pressure on. There's Murray again. Just drags it. Not the best of connections that time. Just drags it past the post. Yeah, Aberdeen need to do something. I think they are. I think the powers of Wally Miller telepathically have got down, because I think it is Shayden Morris, but there's a few others as well.
Oh!
Stephen?
Oh, Celtic Park again. I spoke about set plays being
Brilliant
so important
save.
for Motherwell. It's a wonderful corner from Lennon Miller. I think it's a Dan Casey or Tony Watt gets a header. It looks like it's going in. It takes a deflection and just loops on to the roof of the net.
You've got a check, Kenny, for a handball.
Right,
so
okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't see it myself, but we've definitely got a check on.
Right, waiting for a replay, Leanne.
There's a chance there for Dundee United. Will Ferry, a lovely play. Short corner taken. Ferry's rolled in. Keeper at his near post stands big.
Right, wait a minute, right, there's so much. Just describe what happened there at Celtic Park.
Right, so
Tony Watt has just cleared it off the line.
Craigs, it's unbelievable. The ball it's a great ball in the centre of the six for Lennon Miller.
I think it's Maswanisi heads it,
Yes,
isn't it?
he come and heads it. Tony Watt turns his back on it. It's going in the net. It's by Schmeichel. It hits his shoulder and looks over the bar.
And it was the ideal scenario for Motherwell, because I said from open play they're not creating an awful lot, so set plays are going to be huge. I have to say the delivery from Lennon Miller was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was. What an opportunity that was there. We still got a check, Derek?
No, it's over, Kenny.
Over, yeah.
Nothing came of it.
And as you were saying, just seeing the pictures come in there, as ever, a big travelling support. Quite a few Santa outfits I'm seeing behind the goal there.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? You know, they're travelling in numbers, but they're going to enjoy themselves. Well, they're certainly not enjoying it at the moment, the performance. But no, Jimmy Teeling's got to make changes. There is a few. I think there's certainly Clarkson, Shayden Morris, he's got his top off, so he has to do something, because the game's just going in one way, and that's a victory at the moment to Kilmarnock, so he's got to shake it up a little bit.
Game on at McDermott Park. Alan Preston, one apiece there. Now, this is a big test. We haven't seen with Alakari before the game. You guys all felt he was a good appointment, something a bit fresh coming to Scottish football, but he was a player here, of course, with Motherwell. He speaks very positively. His side play very positively. The results haven't come. This is a test now to see if they can get themselves back in front of McDermott.
It is, Kenny. There's 55 minutes on the clock, and since half times they've come back out. It's been all Dundee United to force another corner, which they've just wasted, but United have got that equaliser through Middleton, and they've dominated since then. But we're just looking, as I said at the start of the programme, St Johnstone need to get something today. They go to Celtic on Sunday, then they've got a high-flying Hibs coming here, and then Dundee in a derby, and then they go away to Rangers. So it's vital that they pick up points here today, but it is still 1-1 with 56 minutes on the clock.
When I think of all the afternoons I've spent in this studio, Leanne Crichton, in recent weeks, I never thought I'd hear someone use the phrase high-flying Hibs. I mean, what a turnaround.
Well, I know, it's how quickly things change. A couple of results, and you know, long I've forgotten the dreaded days that we've sat in here and probably thought at points.
Goal Celtic!
No, it's brilliant! Oh, it's brilliant! Wonderful play from Kilmarnock. Armstrong with the goal. But I tell you what, Aberdeen are sleeping. It's a quick throw. I think it's Armstrong to Murray. Back to Armstrong. Balls into the box. And not picking up runners. They're all over the place. The changes need to come.
Right, that looks like dreadful defending. We'll get more of these thanks to Stephen Craig in Celtic Park. Second goal.
Dyson made it. Diving header. It's an in-swinging corner. Arnie Engels. I was praising Lennon Miller for his set play. It's just a terrific ball in to the near post. Liam Scales gets the first header, flicks it on, and Dyson Maida flying through the air, meets it flush in the forehead, puts it into the back of the net. It's Celtic 2, Motherwell 0.
That's really good play from Celtic. Scales makes it, the run's brilliant, keeps the power in the delivery as well, and Dyson Maida won't score an easier goal. Craig's just ghosting in at the back area. What I was going to say is that I think I caught the build up to that goal, and I think when Stuart Kettlewell looks back, and it was a really cheap corner that his side conceded defending their box, just kicked it straight out for the corner. I think in those moments at Celtic Park you need to try and get it out for a throw in where possible. You don't want to have to defend your box in that type of manner, but credit to Celtic in the delivery and the execution.
Simo Valakari has to do something here, Kenny. It's one-way traffic. All Dundee United at McDermott Park and forced yet another corner. This whole 13-14 minutes of the second half has been all Dundee United with the equaliser, and they're pushing to try and get a winner here at McDermott Park.
Yeah, they've got the momentum. Just come back to that game, that big goal that Derek Ferguson brought us, John Rankin. I'm just wondering again, could Meathoff done a wee bit better there? It was another ball. It was similar to the first goal. Ball into the box, keeper doesn't come. It's just too easy for Kilmarnock.
Kenny, I signed up for a dull afternoon. You told me there's no 4 games, there's not a lot happening. There's goals flashing everywhere.
Great, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Should have been in a couple of weeks ago, Ranks.
It's been an amazing few weeks, actually.
To be honest with you, it's a quick throw in. The ball goes down the left-hand side. It's the quality of cross is unbelievable.
That's
it's
right.
a great
I
cross.
think it's all about the cross.
I think so.
Yeah.
100%. But what's worrying from a defender in that situation is all 3 defenders' shoulders are pointing towards their own goal. So it's almost an impossible cross for them to defend, but could their body positioning be a wee bit better? But again, it's the ball's an unbelievable cross.
The reaction's too slow, even from the throw-in. And that's been the reaction throughout the game. It's been far too slow. They have made the changes. Ambrose, Keskinen, I'm quite surprised at that, and Nielsen have come off, and on has come Clarkson, Palaversa and Shaden Morris as well. He was alluding to. So yeah, Morris is on, and they needed to do something. They need something. They need that. Well, he spoke about it. There's a lack of energy, lack of belief, lack of confidence. There's a whole host of things you could point the finger at this Aberdeen side at the moment.
What do they need in January, Willie? Do you think that there's serious strengthening needed for the squad?
I would say so. I think defensively, centre back, Malloy's still a very young.
Could be another one. Oh, how's he missed that? He's dragged it past.
Dundee United have turned around against St Johnstone as Dalby. That man again, it's a wonderful cross, and he runs in 5 yards out, heads into the bottom corner. St Johnstone led at half-time. Dundee United have turned it round. 60 minutes on the clock. St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 2.
Again, another goal, and it all comes down to the cross into the box. I think it's Ryan Strain with the ball. Is that right, Leanne?
Yeah.
It looks like a Ryan Strain cross, but I'll tell you what, Dalby's movement in the box, again, just peels off the shoulder of the defender. It's a great finish. Really is. You'll be pleased with that one. That takes him to 9 for the season.
Yes, his top goal scorer in the Premiership is Dalby. He looks to be in a really good bit of business by Dundee United. Just watch it come in here again. Here we go. So here's the ball out wide.
It's not. It's a middle cross.
It's a great header, isn't it? It really attacks.
Is it the right foot?
Is that another right footer?
It looks like it.
Is that actually?
How was that, Rex? Is that one all right for you?
Oh, mate, I don't know what to say, Biscuits. I think it's time you go home.
It's a great header, though, wasn't it?
It's a great header. He's behind the defender and gets across him just as it's kicked.
It's number 5. Who's number 5?
Oh, we're okay. It's not Middleton.
Sanders, number 5. It's crossed it.
Yeah,
Savells. He's crossed it. Yeah. Newcastle United 2, Aston Villa 0. Isak in 59 minutes. Remember, Villa are down to 10 men. My goodness, what an incredible passage of play there, Derek.
Oh, it should be 3-0. It's the 2 wide men. Armstrong a wee over on the wide right, crossing to Murray in the box, and he's got time, takes a touch. There's a little attack from Aberdeen. Can they get one back? No, it's tame shot. That sums Aberdeen up at the moment. Yeah, it should have been 3-0. I think Murray, I don't know, the guys will agree. He's trying maybe just showing the eyes, trying to reverse it back into the corner. I think he just got to bend it towards the left-hand post, but who am I to tell players? But they've been good this afternoon, Kilmarnock. You always had the feeling, well, I've had this feeling that they've always been in control of the game, a better shape. They've got better players at the moment as well, so that would have been game, set and match. Still hope for Aberdeen, but... And Kenny, what about the envelope? Come on.
Right, OK, right. I need to explain to listeners that are on television. So, because there are only 4 games kicking off this afternoon, that's not... We usually do more on open all mics. I thought, have a few things up your sleeve for quieter spells during these games. It's not really happened. But one of the things I thought was, when we reach the halfway point of the season, a lot of clubs have. There are 19 games played as a result of today's fixtures. So give us your player of the season so far, and also an honourable mention. Someone that's not going to win the main award, but is having a terrific campaign. Right, so Derek, you kick us off. Who's your player of the season so far?
So far at the moment, there'll be no surprise it's a Rangers player. I'm going to pump for Tierney.
Derek, you need to get out of that. Derek, come on.
Are you okay?
Couple of good results.
To be honest with you, Willie, I'm not
Nobody
okay
Nobody needed an envelope for that, Derek.
Derek Johnston.
Right, and surprise, do you want to know who I'm going to plump for?
Right.
Leanne, I don't know, she might like this or not. I'm going to go because of I think it's the influence that he has in the rest of the team. Andy Halliday.
Oh, that's a surprising one. Yep.
Well, he's just about to come on the park, Derek. Hopefully he can absolutely completely rejuvenate Motherwell in this game, because they're losing by 2-0.
I just think he's got an influence in the rest of the players, of course, and I mean, what a help he'll be to Lennon Miller.
Did you see you were going for a Rangers player and then you went Andy Halliday? You do realise
you know he's left.
A few years ago, that, Derek.
He never celebrated, Derek, did he?
So he's went for a Rangers player, a former Rangers player.
So you've gone for...
Once a Rangers, always a Ranger.
Tierney, player of the season, Andy Halliday, honourable mention. So we should explain the envelope thing. I said earlier on, I was going to predict who Alan was going to go for honourable mention, and Derek's been itching to know all afternoon. So Alan, before we start, give us your player of the season so far.
Nicholas Kuhn.
Nicholas Kuhn. Right, so I wrote down, and Leanne's got it there, I wrote down who you will go for, and I'm confident for your honourable mention. Right, so Leanne's going to open that. So on you go, Alan, your honourable mention.
I would like to say Lennon Miller, but I'm going to go for Dyson Maida.
Oh, for goodness sake. Come on, who do you mention every single week in this programme?
Dyson Maida.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Who?
Penrice.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah, Penrice has been magnificent, but there's that team that's playing at the bottom of the league.
So there's no chance he'll win it, so that's the honourable mention. Dyson Maida might win it.
Yeah, but
Nicholas Kuhn might win it.
Right, OK.
Dyson Maida has been exceptional.
If I was going for a Celtic player, I would have went for Kuhn as well. Yeah, Kuhn, Tierney, that type of player.
Derek, talk about an anticlimax.
I know.
You know what I mean? He's not even get it right.
It's gone, I can relax
I sat here with a bit of paper for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sitting thinking, I've gone through the teams, I'm thinking, I can't even mention the Hearts player at the bottom of the league.
Right, Willie Miller, player of the season so far.
Callum McGregor.
Listen, do you know what? In some of the goals he's scored.
6 goals.
Yeah, outside the box as well. Some cracking goals.
Oh, it's going to sneak in. Is it off the line?
Yes, Willie.
Ross County corner kick coming in, and it slipped past everybody. And I think it's a Dundee defender that actually manages to just hook it off the line at the back post. So, you know, Ross County looking again very threatening, and Dundee really struggling. Made the changes, not made any difference. So Don Cowie definitely the happier of the two managers. Yeah, Callum McGregor.
Right, an honourable mention, Willie.
I was thinking Alistair Johnson. You know, I think he's chucked in with goals as well. And I'm not just saying this despite Derek, you know, mentioning 2 Celtic players.
But you will.
No, well, I noticed Derek trying to keep the other half of Glasgow happy there by chucking in a couple of Celtic names. Well done, Derek. And for Aberdeen, Shaden Morris, he's an honourable mention. He's came off the bench. He's sparked some disappointing first half performances, and he's made a real impact, but only from the bench. So but definitely Callum McGregor for me.
Stephen Craigan, before we get yours, what's happening at Celtic Park?
Well, they've made a triple substitution. Celtic, they brought on Nicholas Kuhn, Rio Hatate and Kyogo Furuhashi. So if Motherwell thought it was going to get any easier, or they were going to potentially put themselves back into the game, that just shows you the strength and the depth of Celtic and what they have at their disposal. And I have to say, since those 3 players come on, the tempo has gone right up. The tempo of passing, the running, everything has gone up another notch. So Motherwell are going to have to hang on here to make sure it doesn't get any worse than what it is at this moment in time. So, yeah, I mean, it's a long way back. When you go 2-0 behind at Celtic Park, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do you gamble? Do you push men forward and leave yourself open? Or do you hang on and try and get a goal going into the last 10 minutes, and then maybe you can have a little throw of the dice with 7 or 8 minutes to go?
And of course they had that big chance, but Tony Watt got in the way of the header and he cleared the ball off the line. It was certainly net bound there. So Stephen Craigan, your player of the season so far?
Well, I was going to go Nicholas Kuhn.
Right.
I mean, Alan's had 2 shots at it. He went for Sam Dalby and Nicholas Kuhn. So,
Dalby was my notable mention.
Oh, was he? Sorry. I was about to say who your third choice was.
Leanne stole it.
She stole it. So, Nicholas Kuhn for me, Kenny, because you talk about somebody reinventing themselves and being a first choice for Celtic, and even now being spoke about as a potential full German international. So that tells you how far he's progressed and how well he's done under Brendan. My notable mention, I think, is going to be Papagayi. I mean, I think Aberdeen have missed his goals. I think they've missed his presence. They don't have a like-for-like centre forward. They haven't been able to find
5 league appearances, 5 goals, Craigs. He was on my shortlist as well. It'd just be interesting to see where Aberdeen would be in this run of form. Had they still have him available through this time? And
I think since that, Leanne, they've rotated and tried to get someone who can fill that void and get goals, and they haven't. And you think of where he was last year, he wasn't even a sub in some games. So that's why I think he deserves a notable mention.
John Rankin, player of the season so far?
Player of the season for me, Callum McGregor. I think he just controls games, and when he's playing well and on song, Celtic are at it.
What's he like to play against?
Oh, tough. He in many ways, when he used to play against Neil Lennon, he remembers me now of Neil Lennon the way he plays the game, because it's always he gets the ball, he keeps the ball, he doesn't force things, but he's able to dictate the game from deeper in it, and you can't see a midfielder get near him.
Chance at Celtic Park.
Yeah, it was a counter-attack from Motherwell. Marvin Coletta picked the ball up in the edge of his own 18-yard box and actually steamed up the middle of the pitch. Went past, he ran away from Callum McGregor. He got right at the heart towards Cameron Carter-Vickers. He slipped the ball to the right-hand side to Apostolos Stamatopoulos. I thought he could have taken a touch to have a strike, but he's dragged it wide. Just when you think something's opened up for you and you have an opportunity of getting a shot on target, he drags it wide. So they're still punching, still counter-punching, but they haven't had a real clear-cut chance since that header was cleared off the line by Tony Watt.
Definitely Apostolos was never getting a mention for a notable. Too hard to say.
There are a few names like that this season. So Callum McGregor, fantastic player, chipped in with some great goals this season. Honourable mention?
I was going to go Sam Dalby, but Leanne went for that one, so I'm going to go for the influence in his team, Lyle Cameron.
Oh,
I like the influence that Lyle Cameron has at Dundee.
Really good shout.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Leanne, who would you go for?
Sam Dalby would have been the one. Again, if we're talking about players, I mean, he might win it, but I don't think he will. Even before today, Kasper Schmeichel, 16 appearances, 13 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Even when you're playing with the best team in the league, still to keep clean sheets and big moments and focusing and concentration, it really is a remarkable record. But Nicky Cadden, I mean, fresh off the mines today, with his performance again in the Edinburgh Derby. 14 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists after that one today as well. And I think even in the performances that Hibs have not been performing well, he's been a standout. He's been the one player that really has looked. Yeah, he has been the one that's been driving them, and big moments, stepping up, looking to take penalties and deal with the pressure, looking to try and create, get on the end of things. I think he's been a really strong performer.
I think we may have just witnessed the worst shot of the day, Kenny.
Right.
Arnie Engels.
Oh, there we go.
It looks as if it was coming into the studio.
Arnie Engels is on the right-hand side of the box. So he has a shot. It goes out for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch. I think he was trying to use the outside of his right foot, and he just kicked it straight. I would call that a clearance or a pass, but apparently it was a shot from him.
It's called excitement. What happened is a short corner, Craigs, and he's played the first pass round the corner with outside his right foot, and it looks really, really good. Then he's ran at the second one, and as you described, it's went out right next to the corner flag.
It with a curly toe.
Southampton 0, West Ham United 1. Jared Bowen with a goal there on 59 minutes. Derek, I tell you a player that I like, and he scored the second goal there today. I know he doesn't get as much game time as perhaps he should do, but young David Watson, I'm sure he's one that you would like, Derek. He plays the game, he's feisty in that midfield, he's got a lot of talent.
And he plays in numerous positions as well in that side. He's so versatile as well. So Derek McInnes right away when he came to the club, they put him straight into the first team. So obviously when he got to know him, knew what he was all about, his qualities, and you've just says it there, Kenny. He scores goals as well. I'm trying to think, was it the last time he scored against Aberdeen? It was a cracker. I'm sure it was.
He's just got something about him. Today that they're thoroughly deserving their lead today, aren't they?
It should be more. It should be more. It should be 3 or 4-0 to Kilmarnock. But it's just the manner of the defeat so far, because you just get the feeling that Aberdeen are playing second fiddle at the moment. So it's remarkable that you can go from You know, what was it? 12 games unbeaten. You know, a team that looked devoid of confidence, and just don't look. They don't look sure of each other. So it's a really surprising. So, listen, that January transfer window can't come quick enough, I think, for Jimmy Tillon. He needs bodies in. Obviously, I mean, Willie will tell you better than me, but it's clear to see on this afternoon's performance that they need bodies in the house.
It's called free fall. Alan, you know what I'm speaking about.
Welcome to my world.
You know, it's remarkable just how quickly things turn around, no doubt at all about it. But it's still been a terrific campaign, and Jimmy Tillon has made his mark early on. Aberdeen, so we're all getting told, Willie, weren't we, when he was appointed, it would take time, there had to be patience, but he got off to such a flyer, it was remarkable.
It was, yeah, but you know, a lot of these wins were not particularly great performances, Kenny, and you know, I think I did point that out. A lot of 45-minute performances, a lot of substitutions being made, and you know, the impact of these big chance here. Oh, it's a second one. It's a second one for Ross County. Joshua Nisbet this time. Good play again down the right hand side, but Dundee split wide open as Nisbet finds it. Just him v the goalkeeper, and he slots it home, makes no mistake.
Another big chance. Sorry, Willie, another big chance for Kilmarnock. Murray just finds the Vassell in the box. Just turns, spins, he gets a good strike, but good save from Mitov in goal. So that's 2 or 3 times already in the second half that Kilmarnock, you know, 1v1 with the keeper. So they're like kind of get out of jail card at the moment for Aberdeen.
That looked a good save, Derek. Right,
yeah, they should be 4 or 5-0 down at the moment, and they're offering very little up front.
Right, we're going to replay now the second goal at Dens.
It's a lovely goal, and it's a big goal, I'll tell you that, because there's been moments this season that Ross County have found themselves in a similar type position. They've had the advantage and they've just been unable to find that second goal. It just gives you that cushion, but it's lovely play. Chilvers with the reverse, and a good finish. Big goal for Don Cowie's side.
Yeah, it's so
They
important.
don't win away from home.
No, and their goal difference is dreadful. Yes!
Goal at Celtic. Nicholas Kuhn has the shot. I'm not too sure it can go down as a Nicholas Kuhn goal because it takes a huge deflection off possibly Kofi Bammer, who's landing the ground. Completely wrong foots Aston Oxford. So he has a shot. It looks like it's going into the left-hand corner of the net. Takes a deflection and ends up rolling into the right-hand corner of the net. And that is Celtic home and hosed with 70 minutes gone, I think it is. It's 3-0 to the home team.
Yeah, he's 30 yards out, isn't he?
It's a weak shot though. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot of power behind it. It's definitely down to the deflection. We're just getting another replay now, Ranks. You can take us through it.
Yeah, defenders, I don't think he makes himself big. He's just standing in front of it. You'll make a different angle here and we'll be able to see exactly what happens. But he goes out to it, it comes off his standing leg and goes into the other corner. But do you know what's impressed me this season about Celtic? When I look at the goal like that, how many goals have they scored from outside the box? And what it is it's just moving the ball side to side and being patient, and eventually teams begin to drop off, and they've got players like Kuhn. We've already spoke about McGregor having that ability to hit the target and that confidence to hit a shot from distance. And I don't know how many goals, because they're credited with getting by teams and getting to the byline, putting balls across, and Furihashi's movement. But when you see goals and they're prepared to put their foot through the ball for 25-30 yards, it's pleasing to see.
Had a wee touch of the squiggler about it, didn't it?
No, that was
remember the squiggler?
I was in my own half at that point, much further out.
Now that's got further and further back. He took the shot from behind the net.
Yeah, we all remember this squiggler. So Nicholas Kuhn
Kenny,
with that
just to
goal,
let you know how big a
yeah.
result this for Ross County. Their last away win was September 2023 when they beat Kilmarnock down at Rugby Park in the league. So you're talking 14 months for a team.
It's incredible, Alan, isn't
really
it?
poor on the road, but this could be such a massive result for Don Cowie's men.
And it sounds as though, Willie, they thoroughly deserve this afternoon.
Yeah, they've played well. They've looked really organised defensively, and they've used that tactic quite a lot. You know, particularly when they get the first goal and now the second goal as well. And both goals have been well-worked goals. They've tried to play some decent football. But from a Dundee point of view, they've been disappointing. You know, they've lacked that invention, they've lacked that energy or that cohesion, and they've barely created an opportunity. So as far as Don Cowie and Ross County are concerned, yeah, so far it's been a brilliant performance from them. 2 goals up as well. So, you know, Don Cowie, everything to be happy about.
We started off at midday on Sports on 12:30 start at Tynecastle. Hearts 1, Hibs 2. Dwight Gale with the winner there on 78 minutes. 3 o'clock kickoff. Celtic 3, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 2. As we've just been hearing from Willie Miller. Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0. Thoroughly deserving of their lead there. Derek McKinney's side down at Rugby Park. Derek Ferguson is there for us. St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 2. 5:45 start. Full commentary to come. Our third commentary of the day. St Mirren at home to Rangers. We'll have the team news for you around about 5 o'clock, and we'll hear from both managers ahead of kick-off. Let's just talk about the game at McDermott Park, Alan. We spoke about how big an afternoon this was for Simo Valakari. We heard from him before the game. He said, look, we have to start getting some wins on the board, but it's been all United by the sounds of it in the second half.
Yeah, they're good value, Dundee United, for their 2-1 lead against St Johnstone at the moment, Kenny. Simo Valakari's made changes. Nicky Clark's come on. Sidibe's come on as well, but equally United have made some changes. They've taken Odada off, and they've brought their captain on, Ross Docherty, their club captain. It's very comfortable at the moment for Dundee United. They're leading by 2-1, and looking to realise a chance for Dalby. Oh, good chance. You think he would have done better there. He's rolled through. It's on his left foot. He doesn't quite catch it. Knocks it across the goals, just wide of the target. Almost 3-1 for Dundee United against St Johnstone.
Doesn't catch it, but his movement's really good again, Alan, isn't it? Just off the shoulder, takes it in his stride onto the left foot. If he catches that well and goes back across the goalkeeper, such a difficult one to save.
Alan mentioned Ross Docherty there, Leanne. You'll have seen a lot of him in the Championship.
He's a good player,
almost
really
like a new
good player.
signing for him. He's solid. He's a reliable type of player.
He is. Look, he was a brilliant player in the Championship. To be across to watch what a difference he made to that Partick Thistle side. Certainly you can understand why Chris Doolan's side struggled at points to adjust to the type of player that they lost after that surge for the Premiership with the playoffs. But Docherty, he's a steady player. He's always, for me, a 7 out of 10. Really consistent. He's used to the ball. He's a leader. Good engine on him, box to box, defensively. Does really well, and he's 1v1 duels. Just a shame that his move to Dundee United feels to me like it has been plagued by injury. He's been in and out all the time. Really struggled to get a good run for Jim Goodwin, but a big player to have back and certainly available.
Both sides making changes at Celtic Park, Stephen.
They are, yeah. I have to say, in the last kind of 5-10 minutes, Kenny, Celtic have been toying with Motherwell. They're just moving the ball. Motherwell are stuck in so deep. Stewart changed the shape and tried to go to a back four, but the third goal went in shortly after that. So since then, it's really damaged limitation. You don't really want it to get any more than 3-0. Celtic are toying with them. They're moving the ball. Rio Hatati's been influential. What happens now is Ericsson Rio Hatati's playing like a second centre forward because he doesn't have any recovery runs to do defensively. Celtic are so dominant in the game, he doesn't have to track back. So anytime Mother will go forward and try to edge forward, the minute the ball turns over, he's in a lovely little pocket of space between the back four and the two holding midfield players, and they're finding him lovely and he's dictating the game. So I think that I said in the first half, you don't tend to clock watch as a player because your concentration level.
Penalty to Ross County. Referee in no doubt whatsoever. I think it's Jordan White that goes down. Defender makes a swipe at it. I'm not too sure. I think it was Ashley, was it?
Josh Mulligan.
Was it Mulligan that had the swipe at it?
I think so.
Just seen a replay here, Willie.
This result dropped Dundee into the mix for relegation.
Well, that's a good point, Alan.
19, I think it's them on.
Yeah, 19, that's right. 19 points, just four clear of St Johnstone currently, who stand there at the bottom of the table. Still waiting for a replay, Willie, coming through from your game there at Dens.
It's Jordan White that's stepping up to take it, taking the responsibility. He's got the ball on the spot. The referee had a very quick wee whistle as well, no doubt at all in his mind, and this could just put it to bed, and he does. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, puts it to his left hand side, and as you can imagine, the Dundee fans are leaving the stadium in their numbers. But for Ross County at 3-0, what a result this is.
It's a brilliant result for Ross County, Willie. It really is, and a remarkable statistic that Alan's saying it's been so long since an away win. You just wonder, when teams get through this, where their home form and their away form is so different. Remember Kilmarnock's run as well in terms of their away form. It cannot be that different. I actually don't understand it from a Ross County perspective, but there's been a number of games this season.
Celtic!
Yes,
I
Stephen.
just given him a mention about 3 minutes ago, and it's Rio Hatati picks the ball up left-hand side of the box, drifts across the centre, and then just fizzes the ball into the bottom left-hand corner past Aston Oxford. He's looked refreshed, he's brought renewed energy to the team, and he's now got himself a goal. It's Celtic 4, Motherwell 0.
That's a good finish. But yeah, it's about 6 or 7 players between the goalkeeper and the tatty.
Look like mannequins. Not one of them moved towards the ball. I mean, you can understand it's a tiring afternoon at Celtic Park when you're constantly defending your own box, but you're right, John, there's 7 players in and around the area. Not one of them really moves towards the ball to stop Rio Hitati just nursing the ball into that far corner.
He shifts it well at the beginning to buy sell a yard, but then after that...
easy, isn't it, though?
Yeah, it's far too easy. Uses his body.
It was a rare start for Yang today, Stephen. Did he take his opportunity, would you say?
Well, when you see Nicholas Kuhn coming on and causing havoc, then he's not going to live up to that kind of level. I think he was just okay, Kenny.
Yeah.
I'd say in the first half, a couple of times he dribbled the ball out of play. His touch was a little bit heavy at times. There's a few grumblings from the fans towards him. I'm not too sure they've taken to him or he's produced his best form. So I would still think he's got a little bit to go before he dislodges Nicholas Kuhn or he becomes a regular starter. There is talk, of course, of coming towards January that Celtic may look for a right winger. That's been the talk over the past couple of weeks. Of course, with James Forrest being out, Louis Palma not really up to speed, Yang in and out of the team and having little glimpses. And if Nicholas Kuhn gets any kind of injury, they don't have someone of that kind of ilk. So I wouldn't be surprised if they dip into the market in January for a right winger.
Fulham equalised away at Chelsea. Harry Wilson on 82 minutes. Newcastle United cruising at home to Aston Villa. Bruno Guimaraes with that goal on 81 minutes. 3-0. That's actually just been disallowed. So still 2-0 up for Newcastle United. Confirmation that Rio Hitati goal in 81 minutes. Celtic 4, Motherwell 0. Yes, Al?
I think Dundee United are a serious threat to Aberdeen for third.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
Biscuits on this viewing. I would fancy Dundee United strongly. This is see for me even this second half. The substitutions have actually weakened Aberdeen. The game's so one-sided. It's not even competitive. Kilmarnock made 4 changes here. It's like they're enjoying themselves. The Kilmarnock players, you can see that, and that's the one thing you don't want as a manager. You don't want to see other teams enjoying themselves, and that's the feeling you get against this Aberdeen side at the moment.
And the good thing is for United is United a couple of games against Dundee, one in the Cup, one in the league coming up as well.
And they're at home to Aberdeen on Sunday.
They'll think nothing better than trying to keep these teams down and close the gap on Aberdeen. It's a really good squad.
It's a fair shout. What, 6 points in it right now?
6 points, yeah. Aberdeen to play.
That's a fair shout. I'm just wondering, John, the life of a football manager, perhaps even the life of the family of a football manager, the highs and lows. You think of Don Cowie, real heartache losing that last gasp goal at home to St Mirren, where they've been so strong, County generally, at the weekend, and then today absolutely cruising away from home, and they've been dreadful away from home.
Sorry, Kenny, can you have a look at this challenge, please, Sidibe? I think that's a really poor challenge. It's a head knock on the Dundee United player there. It's not nice at all.
Right, just waiting
for a decent replay, Alan. What was it that happened? Was it just
the ball bounces?
It's been coming. 3-0 Kilmarnock. Substitute Cameron. What a ball from Murray. He's been excellent this afternoon. Some of his deliveries, but that pass was wonderful. The weight of the pass to get it through the gap. Excellent. Well done.
That's a fantastic goal, Derek, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. It's the skill, the vision. And then there's the finish. Duke had won in the first half. I don't know what was gave for offside. Exact same position. He went for power, scraps it past. Cameron, that just sums up Kilmarnock. Just play oozing their confidence. He just dinks it over the keeper. Lovely finish.
We talk about Fraser Murray's pass, though, Derek, with the outside of his right foot to split 2 defenders. That's not just ability, it's also vision.
Yeah.
The timing of the run from Cameron as well, Derek. The finish is sublime.
Yeah. They've been a joy this afternoon. Come on, I've really enjoyed it. It's crazy what I'm going to say. I thought this would be such a competitive game, and it's not. It's been so one-sided for me.
They've been due a performance like this, so Derek, I would need to say Kilmarnock at times have blown hot and cold this season. Rarely have you seen them as convincing as this.
Well, that battering that's from Rangers, 6-0, not so long ago. They bounced back. Was it did they win 2 and drawn 1, something like that? But in the evidence here, they look a real good side.
Ken, it's interesting. Derek was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, wasn't he, Derek McInnes? He knew they had a run of 4 home games out of 5. And he said, this is where our season begins. Our home form is strong. It hasn't been as strong this season as what it can be. He really felt this could be the turning point. And based on what Derek's saying today, it absolutely could be.
And you think of the character of the side, when they went down to 10 men against Hearts, wasn't it? You know,
that is not a nice challenge at all. That's a red card here at Tannadice for a Dundee United player. Yeah. It's a really heavy challenge. He goes over the top of the ball. You'll see this. Not nice at all. I think it's Gallagher. It's not a nice challenge. He's right over the top. He's pleading his innocence there with the referee.
Well, look at it. I mean, Barrow, look at it. It certainly looks like he comes out.
I thought he was high. I thought he got
pretty high.
It's over the far side for me, Leanne, but I thought he's caught the St Johnstone player high.
Quite
over the top of the ball.
I would need to say. We're going to get a good replay here. Oh, he catches him. Yeah. I mean, actually the contact's quite low, but his studs are shown. He kind of lunges into it, goes to ground quite quickly. We're not getting a great angle in terms of how much contact there was. It wasn't high though.
It's endangering
the studs are definitely shown, John. It didn't look too good.
I don't think there's much contact, but he comes in for the side as well, so maybe wait over his
It looks to me like it's on his foot. They might look at it. It could possibly be downgraded.
Maybe
but the fact the studs are shown for me is probably what's going to push it towards a red card.
Gallagher.
He just tries to. I mean, for me, I don't think there's a lot of malice.
Here we are. Here's another.
Get a slower version. He comes in left foot. No, it's going to be a red card. I don't think you're going to get away with that nowadays.
Is it the force, do you think?
Just the force, and I think just the fact, as I say, if he had gone with his toe and had tried to just stab the ball away, but he almost comes down onto the foot and catches the side of the ankle with the studs showing, a fair bit of contact.
Yeah, he's off.
He's off. Yeah, it looked to be the
correct decision. I thought right away initially, and the referee's not far away from it. Brandishes a red card straight away. Dundee United down to 10 men. Declan Gallagher sent off. 88 minutes on the clock. They still lead St Johnstone by 2 goals to 1.
It will tarnish this result, Alan, even if they get the 3 points, because it's a challenge that he didn't need to make.
Well, he's going to be suspended now for 3 games.
He's a big player for them.
You know, and he's a big player. They don't lose a lot of goals, Dundee United. He's a big player for them.
Chance, Stephen?
Yeah, chance at Celtic Park. Hugo had a little chance about 2 or 3 minutes ago, but it's Liam Scales crossing the right-hand side from Tony Ralston, and Liam Scales flying through the air, meets it flush with the header, but it looked from here like it was going to nestle into the back of the net, but just whizzes past the post. Motherwell, as I said earlier on, are now clock watching. They're just hoping the clock goes as quick as it possibly can. They want to get off and get up the road. They've got a really busy spell coming up, like everyone has, but a really tough one. They've got Celtic today. They've got Rangers, Hearts, Aberdeen, Kelly and Hibs in their next set, the next 5 or 6 games, so it's a real testing period for them. They're going to have to lick their wounds and be ready for Rangers.
Here's a chance for St Johnstone here. The free kick. Nicky Clark's taking it, knocks it wide. Chance is gone. Dundee United need to try and see this through. Then it would set up for an absolute cracker at Tannadice against Aberdeen on Sunday evening.
Alan, you've spoken a lot about your concern for Hearts this season. We touched, as I said, on St Johnstone before the game when we heard from Simo Valakari. What have you taken from this Saints performance this afternoon?
It's not been good enough. First half was decent, better, a few chances. Second half they've been right out of it, but give Jim Goodwin and Dundee United all the credit. They've been a lot better in the second half, and on the play certainly deserved their 2-1 lead. It's not finished yet. St Johnstone, they've now thrown everything at it. They're throwing players forward, might get caught on the break, but I think they need to get something, as I've touched on, their coming up fixtures, which are really, really difficult for them.
I think there's a few contenders for shock scoreline of the day, Willie Miller, but I'm pretty sure the game you're watching is high up there.
I would say so, Kenny. I would say so. I think it really is surprising, isn't it? You know, Dundee have been so poor. It'll be really interesting to hear what Tony Docherty has to say about this performance.
There's a fourth.
And here's another contender, I think.
Anderson, I tell you what, Aberdeen, well, Willie, thank goodness you're not here. Your head would explode. I'm telling you, it would absolutely. The defending's woeful. It's just, again, it's a ball at the back post. Unchallenged, headed back across, and there's Bruce Anderson, you know, getting on the end of it, just knocking it into the back of the net against his old side. It's been so comfortable. You've heard me saying it, Kenny. It's been a wonderful performance from Kelly. So at the moment we're into time added on, 93 minutes. Kilmarnock 4, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, absolutely cruising down there. 4-0 to Kilmarnock at home to Aberdeen. St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 2. United down to 10 men. Declan Gallagher sent off a couple of minutes ago. Willie telling us Dundee 0, Ross County 3. Celtic cruising at home to Motherwell by 4 goals to 0. Earlier today it finished Hearts 1,
Hibs 2, Hearts. A really, really tough season for them. They're off the bottom of the table because St Johnstone are now losing their game, but a lot of concern for Hearts fans, no doubt at all, about that 5:45 start in Paisley. St Mirren against Rangers. Full commentary to come here on Sports, and we're with you right through until 8 o'clock. We'll get the team news for you in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Chance, what a brilliant save that is by the goalkeeper of Dundee United, Walton. It's Sanders coming in at the back post for St Johnstone. Matty Smith to the right foot cross. In comes the big centre half. He heads it down. Brilliant save by the keeper over the bar. Still 2-1 to Dundee United.
Really the header looks as if it comes off the floor and skips up. He just manages to get his hand on it, but it's a great touch over the bar.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity there. Just confirmation of that. 4th goal for Kilmarnock. Bruce Anderson in the 93rd minute. Beating Aberdeen 4-0.
Derek, when you look at this Aberdeen performance, I mean, a couple of the goals this afternoon we've looked at, could the goalkeeper have done better? Could he have come out?
Yeah.
That 4th goal again just looks to me like a side really lacking in confidence in how to defend your box, because they've got an opportunity to squeeze a game to the edge of the 18, which they don't take, and as soon as the delivery is going to come in, they're dropping and they've not had the first contact, they've not had the second contact. Between McDonald and Rubizic this afternoon, it doesn't look to me like either one of them has been able to dictate the height of the line, the control of the line, and going and attacking it and clearing the box. It's so poor from an Aberdeen perspective.
Communication, organisation, that's how I'm seeing Willie's head when they've exploded watching this, because and that's what they had at the start of the season. That's the final whistle going, Leanne, but you're absolutely bang on the money. Finish Kenny, Kilmarnock 4, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, and we're seeing the pictures coming in. We spoke a lot about the big away support. It's always a big travelling support for the Dons. Huge disappointment for them. But we're seeing the home fans there. My goodness, a result they couldn't have been expecting this afternoon, Derek.
I was expecting a real competitive game, a game with a real edge, but it was Kilmarnock found it pretty easy. There's no other words, certainly in the second half, Kenny. The substitutions were made. I thought it would have an effect on Aberdeen. It was actually the reverse. Aberdeen got worse as the game wore on. So no, I don't want to take anything away from Kilmarnock, because they were absolutely brilliant this afternoon. So I think we should maybe focus on that as well, how good a side they were this afternoon. Derek McInnes, well, he'll be absolutely beaming down there.
Full time at Celtic Park, Kenny. Celtic 4, Motherwell 0.
Yeah, very comfortable for Celtic this afternoon. Yeah, Derek McInnes just waving to people in the crowd there. The mascot was certainly enjoying it, doing a wee dance on the pitch there at Rugby Park. Jimmy Tulane, my goodness, he looks very sombre there, and no wonder. A really poor performance from his team down there in front of a big travelling support at Rugby Park. The game is still very much in the balance in Perth, Alan Preston.
It is, Kenny. We're into 6 added on minutes. We've played 4 of them already, and Jim Goodwin's made his final change. Ross Graham coming on, he's trying to bolster up the defence. He's taken off Middleton, who's been excellent scorer of that equalising goal on his right foot, cutting inside. But St Johnstone not done enough, and this is going to be a real worry as it stays as it is. They are bottom of the table with the toughest fixture in Scottish football, going to Parkhead on Sunday.
Yeah, just looking at the bottom half of the table, so Hibs with that win today, 21 points, they're in 7th. Kilmarnock, they're up to 8th with their fantastic victory at Rugby Park. Dundee, an absolute battering for them at home this afternoon to Ross County. They're on 19 points, that's 9th in the table. County, they move up to 10th on 18 points. Hearts, the defeat for them at lunchtime at home to Hibs, 16 points. St Johnstone, bottom of the table, 2 points adrift. You're still playing there at Dens, Willie?
We're still playing, Kenny. Yeah, the 4 minutes, that was a couple of minutes ago, so we don't have long to go, but the points are in the bag. It's been a first-class performance. Don Cow will be more than delighted with it, and a very important 3 points for him, that's for sure. Does that take some 1 point, I think it is it behind Dundee now?
Yeah, it does. 18 points, Dundee on 19 points, Hearts 16, St Johnstone on 14 points. A bit of a shock down in England. We have Fulham 2-up late on away at Chelsea. Munoz with a goal in 95 minutes. What's happening there?
Well, the goalkeeper's made a simple save, but the Dundee United fans who've totally fell back in love with the club in the last 18 months, making some noise. It was just a free kick by Dre Wright. Simple catch for Walton, and it is honestly cheered like it's a goal here at McDiarmid Park. We have the time is actually the 6 added on minutes have come and gone. The referee is looking at his watch, still playing on. This has to be the last chance. Everyone is piling forward for St Johnstone. The keeper's trying to go up. Sanders is moving up as well. Dundee United have got a chance. They'll see this through because they'll just see it. They've won the ball. This will be it. Surely 6 minutes have come and gone. I don't know what the referee's adding on for.
They're very much, as Alan said, of Aberdeen in their sights now. They've closed that gap to 6 points.
That is it at McDermott Park. Brilliant result for Dundee United. St Johnstone 1, Dundee United. And you want to see these players here at McDermott Park. They are going to the fans. They're going ballistic. They're raising their fists. They've got the bit between their teeth now and they're hunting down Aberdeen.
Yeah, real momentum there. Next up for Dundee United, that home game with the Dons, Sunday the 29th, 5:15 start, as you'd expect. All the coverage on Sports Sound right here on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll give you the classified scores. We'll run down the table for you. We'll get the team news from that game in Paisley, 5:45 start. St Mirren at home to Rangers Saints in the back of a couple of late shows for Stephen Robinson's side. Rangers will not find that easy this afternoon, albeit Philippe Clement's side have improved in recent weeks. Alan's right, just seeing the United fans there. Glenn Middleton, he was there. Big celebrations from him. Sima Valakari looking
Full time,
very
Kenny.
dejected.
It ends and it has finished. Dundee 0, Ross County 3.
Thank you to Willie Miller. Do you know what? Just 4 games kicked off this afternoon in the top flight. And you think, oh, more mics, 4 games. What's it going to be like, Leanne? But yet again, it's been like this the last few weeks. It's been terrific, hasn't it?
It really has. End-to-end stuff. A lot of goals, which you can always appreciate, especially when we only had the 4 goals this afternoon. Some shock results, some big results, big performances individually, collectively. This stage of the season, no time to feel sorry for yourself if you've come off the receiving end of a bad one this afternoon. You've got to dust yourself down. You've got to get ready to go again in another couple of days. But certainly when you look at that, really strong Kilmarnock performance at Rugby Park against Aberdeen, it's a standout up there with Ross County certainly travelling away to Dundee and getting that long-awaited away victory for Don Cowie's side. Goals galore again at Celtic Park, really convincing. And Dundee United, as we've mentioned, they really are knocking on the door of Aberdeen.
Have you enjoyed it? John Rankin, plenty of stories this afternoon, plenty of goals. It's been great, hasn't it?
You told me it was going to be quiet. There's been 14 goals in 4 games. I'm delighted again. No, it's been great. The quality of the goals as well at times, and then I think there's been a lot of good bits of play within the games. And listen, we've called a few goalkeepers out. We've got it wrong, but overall, for me, it's been a good afternoon of football, and certainly some big results.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We're also on the television this afternoon. We're on BBC Scotland. I hope you are enjoying the show. We're with you right through until 8 o'clock. Full commentary to come from the game in Paisley. St Mirren against Rangers kicks off at 5:45. We'll have the team news for you shortly. So, in the Scotland